covered in Cheeto crumbs.
That was a great intro. That was the first thing they heard.
Anyways,
Original or hot Cheetos?
Puffcorn.
Ew,
So-
Cheetos popcorn.
Chad, if you ever wondered what our party was talking about before we got on the stream, it's basically been food for the last 15 minutes.
It really has.
They've
Welcome
passed.
to
a good
Seas of
thing.
Sand. Jazz hands.
Shinx has brought the class of cooks curse with her into this new
Yay!
campaign.
There shall be food.
And I shall not complain, because that's all I like to talk about.
Oh, hey.
Ooh,
Well, yeah, Seas of Snacks. Well,
No,
welcome to.
no. Snacks of sand, and where the snacks.
Ew! No, that implies that we're eating sand.
Well, a bit of an unconventional opening, but welcome to Seas of Sand, everybody.
Yacha, welcome.
Previously on, the party arrived one by one in the city of Al-Zahar on the coast of the desert kingdom of Zul'Garan. And after we followed Valbella at the beginning, and she ran into the other party members, who were each up to their own things, we... Hang on. I just realized that's behind that. Let me move that up. There we go. Now alert should be in front of it. After getting sort of oriented and teaming up with each other, running into each other, the party searched for a place to stay. Overnight accommodations. And they discovered that they could stay at the consulate and embassy in Pyre Square. But upon arriving at the consulate, they were speaking with the man at the front desk. And well, man is a little, not quite. The chameleon at the front desk. And he said that they needed to get a someone to vouch for them before they could stay there. As they're all new in town. And so they, after getting some recommendations from Zahindra, one of the consulars, they went off in search of somebody to vouch for them and settled on the closest option, which was Anlin Abbey of the Rangers, captain of her division of the Rangers, the foreign division for Zul'Garan. And upon speaking with the Rangers, Anlin said that she was swamped with work, but would consider vouching for them if they did a small job for her that she needed to fill at the moment. And that job was eavesdropping on a conversation that she knew was going to happen at one of the local taverns. And after doing so, using Cecilia's ability to enter his lantern and still hear the outside conversation around him, they eavesdrop on the conversation between two of the Southwall Scurriers, who spoke briefly about a cult that was back in town, but didn't really fill in too many details there. They mentioned a person named Akite, and his tie to a certain cult that seemed to be cropping back up in town. And the Scurriers then made their exit. And as the party discussed what they had overheard, between Fallon listening into the parts that were in Thieves' Cant and Sutsu hearing the part where they quieted down a little bit as they corroborated what they'd heard, a woman came running into the tavern, and she quickly saw Val, who is quite tall and a little imposing, and ran over to her and started sort of saying, acting as if she knew her. And Val decided to play along, and the woman introduced herself as Tasha and said that she had people following her and that she just needed someone to play along for a moment. And as they played along for a few moments, they saw some thugs or bandits march into the tavern heavily armed. But between Rindrov and Val, who are both rather large, they managed to block Tasha from sight, and the bandits moved on, not noticing her. So after that happened, they decided that they would head back to the ranger station, where they needed to report to Anlin, and they invited Tasha to come with. So where we return is the tavern, just as we are leaving. All right. So first things first. Some things have changed. We have new Rindrov art, so we might as well talk about that.
He's super cute. Thanks, that's all.
Here, I'll blow it up for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, so this was commissioned by Rindrov himself. And it's the same artist who did my art, right?
Yep.
That is at Sadface Art on Twitter. Go check out her art. She's really good. She's the one who I commissioned for the Charlemagne art. She's great. So if you are interested, go check her out. I didn't have a chance to update it on the Theater of the Mind screen, but I'll get that for next week. And then the other thing that has changed is Roll20 broke my dark theme. Thanks.
Damn.
So now we
They
have
really
this.
said, no.
So now we have this white border. I only noticed it when I started it up today.
Dang.
So yeah, we get the ugly white border for today at least.
Sobbing.
I'll
in the
try
club.
and make it not visible as much as possible because I don't. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice.
It wasn't me this time, I swear.
It wasn't me either.
But yeah, so if you're seeing that white border, that is the default look for Roll20, and I don't like
Cry about it.
I will.
No,
No!
I meant
That's
chat.
only
I
crying.
meant chat. What did you say, Fallon?
Whole session today, only crying.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Understandable.
Oh,
So, where we pick back up, the party has just made their way to the tavern back to the Harbor Ward. Yeah, I forgot that it does the same border when I zoom in and out too. Gross.
She's taking a minute to load today. There we go.
Another thing that I changed up. If you guys click on your tokens, can you see the little number?
Yes.
Okay, so that's your health
Yeah.
value. I just thought I would
Oh.
check it out.
Ooh.
I don't usually do it because I figured no one would really use it, and there's no really like elegant way of doing it. I don't like having the health bars constantly above you when you're not in combat. It's just kind of ugly. So we're gonna try out a slightly clunky way of doing it. So if you do get in combat, you can activate your health if you want to. And to do that, if you want, you just click your token, click the little gear. And then next to on your bar 3, it should have a 10, at least for Valbella.
Yeah, I
then-
just changed it to 3.
Yeah, so that 10 right there is your current HP, and then if you just enter your max HP, it'll add the bar after you save.
Ah, I see. Oh.
There you go.
Oh, that's so cool.
So if you
I'm
want,
so
if you
cool.
want to do that when we get into combat, you can.
I would keep this
No,
in
I think it's
mind.
fun when nobody knows how much health I have and then I die spontaneously and nobody knew why.
You just spontaneously combust.
Yeah. It's a surprise.
And then to get rid of it when
Okay,
you're not in
that's fine.
combat, you just take out that max, the max value, and it goes away.
Character dies.
So that is the slightly clunky way of doing it. I wish there was a option to hide health bars when players are at full health or something like that. But alas, there is no quality
Like
of
how
life
they do it in-
improvements in Roll20 at all.
How they do it in video games.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Or like a give me an option to mass hide health bars or something like that. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool.
No, they don't want to do that.
They don't want to be nice. They don't want to make things convenient. Convenience? Jay,
Roll20 is a little inconvenient, I will say.
you're asking for too much.
But yeah, so you exit the tavern. Just so you can use that option when you get in combat if you want, or if you're injured or something and you want to remember how much health you have.
Interesting that he tells us this now. Interesting, I think.
I just wanted to say that at the beginning so that I don't have to do it at the start of a
I see.
combat
I see.
encounter.
I just dropped my microphone into a bag of M&Ms, so if that's why you heard like a weird clanking
I
noise,
thought it was, I
that's
thought
what
it was Jay admitting. It's like, Jay, I'm afraid for you
Sorry,
currently.
sorry.
Hey,
Okay.
Narendrove.
With all the bookkeeping out of the way, then let's get started on the actual session. So you make your way out of the tavern back to the harbor ward, and Tasha follows you. And your intention is, last time you were intending to make it back to the ranger station. Is that still your goal?
Yes.
All right.
Oh God.
I think
I
my
forgot we had
Roll20
the
is
map.
dying a little bit.
This is one of the bigger maps. It's a high-res one, so that you can see all the details. So if it takes a little longer
Harbor.
to load, that's why.
What are you?
So you make your way from the harbor ward, turning down a couple side streets to arrive back at Pyre Square. It didn't really come up in our first session, but I'll tell you guys now. If at any point you want to like duck down a side alley or anything like that, since there's no real way of doing that with the maps, just tell me, because I do have like side alleys and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Joke's on us, we just have to walk through like the main areas to get to everywhere. We were like, what are these idiots doing? And we're just like,
Like if you wanted to have
Suspiciously
a discussion like out of earshot of like a place that had a lot of people, you just want to, hey, can we duck down an alley and talk about something? Then just tell me, because I do have that option available to you.
I feel like walking down any street with a 7-foot loxodon and a 10-foot furbolg might draw attention, but maybe that's just me. Maybe maybe that's just
Yeah.
me.
So maybe you'll. I don't know what situation you get yourself into where you need to hide in an alley, but if you want to, I'm just saying that option is there since it's
Mhm.
hard to represent that in the map itself.
We could
But
just
if you
go hang out in an alley, you know?
exactly, yeah, if you just want to go chill, you just we're gonna go take a nap in an alley.
Jay,
We
let
just
Jay
stand there
show
in the
off his
alley.
map.
Yeah.
Then just say so, and I can bring you there. All right, so you make your way back to Pyre Square, where the massive fire is roaring.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't get your name. What's your name?
Tatasha?
Yeah. Oh, hey.
I just didn't know who you're talking to.
God, did any of us get her name? God.
You definitely got her name last time. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if Fallon did. So she says, my name is Tasha. What is your name?
I'm Fallon. It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right, onward.
Over to the Nyanhari.
Yes.
Mean Mr. Cat?
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Catboy.
The little cat boy that's a watering plant.
He's gonna drown that
Oh.
plant.
I hope
Yeah,
that he cannot
honestly.
hear us. Oh,
We
hello.
start screaming. We're like, cat boy!
Yeah, did you need something?
Why are we over here again?
We're going inside,
We-
right?
just wanted
Oh,
to
right,
go
right,
inside.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, we're
right,
just gonna
right.
go inside. It's nice to see you again.
Hello.
Good
Just wanted
afternoon.
to say hi. Yeah.
All right.
Unless you had something to tell us.
I'm so
Is the
suspicious.
lady and her packed lady in there?
Oh, if you're talking about Enlin, yeah, she's inside.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
The
I,
lady.
I went to move my token on the Twitch stream. I'm doing great, guys.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Oh, it is.
Never heard that one before. There's a lot of different oops moments when you're doing Roll20. There's the whoops, I accidentally drew, and things like that, or oh, I dragged my token off the screen and now I can't get it. But I've never heard dragged my token on the Twitch stream before. That's a good one. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. First time for everything.
Enlin is waiting inside as you enter, and as the door swings open and you walk inside, she says, you're back already.
We brought guest.
Tasha just kind of tentatively enters in behind you and says, seem to be multiplying. Is there another member to your party here then?
Not entirely a member of our party per se. The lady who gave us,
We found her at a bar.
yeah,
All right.
gave us the most information. Information is a loose word here.
Okay. Did you happen to get done the task that I asked of you?
Yes, actually, that is why she's here.
I see.
She sort of not fell into, but like ran into our plan of sorts, kind of ish, a little bit. Somebody else speak. I am so bad at talking to people. This is not my gig.
All right. And
Pick this person up at a bar.
okay. All right. But what about the meeting with the Scurriers? That's what I'm more interested in.
Fallon and Schutz has the most information on that.
Yes.
Fallon, that's you, right?
Yes.
Forgets what happened last session.
It's literally.
Love how you can hear Shinx just
forget about the
walking away from the mic.
Just loud notes flipping noises.
I have notes.
If you need, I was able to combine the note taking of Fallon and with the ingenuity of Soots, we were able to put together a complete picture of their meeting. Oh, should probably also mention we heard everything.
Yes.
That is the Luna. You were joking, but if you do ever forget something that you feel like you should remember because it happened 10 minutes ago in game, but it happened like last session, I can remind you of those things. So don't worry too much about that. I think this is the first time a thing like that's come up in this campaign, but feel free to just be like, "Can I get a reminder?" Because I know that sometimes 1 week can be hard to remember certain things. But Anlin says, "All right then, let's hear it. So the meeting went down, right? What did they talk about?"
Soots, Fallon, do you want to chime in? I can fill in any gaps you missed.
Oh, they're talking about some sort of shipment of something.
They also
Yeah.
mentioned a cult.
Yeah, that might be a problem too.
You see her eyes sort of widen for a moment, and then she sort of furrows her brow and kind of thinking for a second. Well, shipment makes sense. They are the Southwell Scurriers. I suppose to the uninitiated, if you want a little more information on them, you can go and talk to Mal. He's my resident Scurrier expert. But long story short, the Scurriers are smugglers of sorts. So a shipment, that makes sense. They're always trying to get things into the city. As for cult, did they give any more detail on that?
I believe they only really mentioned an uprising of sorts. Or at least a reoccurrence.
I see.
They mentioned something about Keto's gang being back in town, and according to Soots' testimony, they sounded pretty fearful of that.
Akita, eh? Well, this is not good news, but it's good that we're aware of it now. I'm going to need a moment to figure out our next course of action. Thank you all for that, for your help. It was exactly what I needed in the moment. The Scurriers, they didn't notice you listening, did they?
Not as far as I know.
Alright, that's good.
Val is gonna turn to Soots and go, should I mention that I had a bit of a run-in with one of them?
I don't think it's that important. Nothing really happened. So
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, just wondering. And then she just stands back up. Straight.
Well, I need to get some things in order. If you have more questions, you can talk to Mal. But, I'll get you your voucher. How does that sound? Fair is fair.
Ooh, that'd be
Yes.
nice.
Before you leave, though, I think, Val, you wanted to tell them about Tasha and the men we saw enter the Scorpion?
If you have more
The-
about that, go talk to Vasila. I need to go and write up your voucher.
Understood.
She's just trying to get rid of us.
I am assuming the lady by the map.
Okay.
I do not know.
I don't either. Should we introduce ourselves or what?
We should probably get her name. We are really bad at that.
Yeah. Somebody introduce yourself to her.
Oh, don't put that on me, please. I will cry.
You're the one
Right.
that wants to go talk to her in the first place.
I'm literally not that. Anlin told us to do that.
Hey, Renreb, go introduce yourself to that girl over there.
Oh, he can't do it. None of us can. What are you doing? None of us can do that.
Oh, I can try if. Oh, I think Val's going.
while Ren is talking, Val kind of just charges over to the girl at the map and goes, "Hello, yes, my name is Volbella. It is pleasure to meet you. We are here with a companion that we met at the bar, and we were wondering if you could tell us any more about the story that we are about to tell you." Immediately her eyes shoot to Tasha. She's
Alright.
just sweating
Alright,
and red-faced.
One step at a time. I'm Vasila. I'm one of the rangers here. You said that you had something to tell me then.
Yes. And she motions Tasha over. Kind of steps towards the wall to make
Tasha.
room.
Tasha approaches and sort of stands next to you. You can go ahead.
No, it's
What
okay.
did
It's okay.
All right. Tasha will take over. Well, just had a run-in with some bandits, and Vasila just sort of raises an eyebrow. Bandits, eh? What did they look like? What were they wearing? Well, just sort of robes and weapons. Not really anything unusual. And Vasila says, "Alright, tattoos, anything like that? Any markings?" She looks at you as well, Val, looking for answers to her questions.
Oh! There was was there? Am I remembering this incorrectly? Was there a tattoo that we saw?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not that I'm remembering.
Okay, I don't know why, but I feel like I remember hearing about it, like a scorpion-shaped tattoo or something.
I don't think so.
Okay. Val shakes her head. Not as far as I am aware. One of them, I believe, was a lizard man. That was bad. Anyway, shut up. We're not talking about it. Lizard man. I'm trying to remember what they were. They mentioned a cult of sorts, I think.
The bandits did.
Yes.
Tasha looks at you. They did?
No, wait.
No.
Val, no.
This is literally just Jay testing your remembrance of this.
I'm
Ability
so
to recall information.
No, I'm remembering everything that didn't happen. Oh no.
It's fine.
Wishful thinking.
The bandits were after me. Not these people here.
That is true, yes.
It was just a minor monetary dispute that turned into a whole escalated matter, and then they started to chase me. So I just asked for help from these folk, and they managed to hide me from my pursuers.
Where did you run into them?
Well, over in Southwall. Vasila raises an eyebrow. What were you doing in Southwall by yourself? It's one of the least safe parts of town. And Tasha says, just had passing through. I had things to take care of, and Vasila just sort of nods, but sort of squints slightly.
Can
Alright.
I insight check on Tasha? See if she's like
You can.
lying. Roll a 16.
Yeah, her eyes dart back and forth a little bit. She looks a little more nervous when she talks about that part. And Vasila seems to have sort of picked up on it too. But Vasila looks back and forth and just says, well, no tattoos, and sounds like they weren't sidewinders. Probably just independent small-time gang. Shouldn't be too much to worry about. Though I would advise keep your head down for a few days. Make sure they're not still around. And Tasha just sort of nods and says, alright, I can do that. Vasila turns to you, Val, and says, is that all?
I think so. Val
Alright.
kind of like puts her hands on her forehead and she's like, what else? Oh, maybe not as important, but I did, to the couriers offer make it known that I was looking for work, and like while that seems like not very important, I think
Let me pause you there. Mal's our scurrier expert. I deal with the side ones.
Right. Oh goodness. Val's doing great.
Well, then we'll just ask Mal about the scurriers then.
You weren't wrong to ask her. She just cut you off. So don't worry.
Okay. Val just kind of tiptoes around.
The 10-foot tall person tiptoes around the
Yep,
shorter
mhm.
person.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
But Mal will speak up, because he's sitting right there, and he says, "Yeah, the scurriers. Then, you said you offered to work for them, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not exactly how they operate, so I imagine you didn't have much luck."
No, but the lady that I said it to, she looked very interested. She did not say anything to me, but her head perked up. So I think that means that they might be looking for work, or they might. I don't know how these careers work, but
Hmm.
I think that
You
they are
said
desperate.
female rat folk, yeah?
Yeah,
That must be Strel.
that sounds correct. But with how my memory has been thus far, I do not listen to a word that comes out of my mouth.
Well, I've been monitoring the scurriers for quite some time, and the only female member appears to be Strel, so if it was a female rat folk, odds are it's her.
Fair enough.
Now, Strel does handle recruitment, so it makes sense that she might be interested. But the scurriers, they are cautious about who they work with. They stick mostly to their own. And, well, he just sort of looks you up and down. With the way you're dressed
It
in
is the height.
heavy armor and
It is the height. I understand.
not to offend, but
It is the height. I get it.
some of you give off an air of being a little new in town.
No, that is the word you would use. Yes.
And Well, scurriers are only likely to approach you for work if you're made a reputation for yourself here in this city as someone who gets jobs done, someone competent, someone who can be trusted to keep secrets. That's who they work with. So they're not likely to approach outlanders and those who are new in town. So
Okay. New in town.
They said they got a shipment. What do they like? What do they ship? What do they buy? What would the shipment be of?
most likely drugs.
Ooh.
They seem to deal
Cool.
mostly
Drugs.
in substances.
Drugs.
Drugs.
In which alleyway can we go in to find those?
Jay has
Yeah.
like a specific map labeled drug alleyway.
He gives you a small chuckle and says, "Well, they are the Southwall Scurriers,
Okay.
but exercise caution if you're heading to Southwall. It's not the safest part of town."
Fair enough.
So I've heard.
He narrows his eyes at you, Fallon, and kind of looks you up and down. And in the background, insight checks you.
Oh.
He's so suspicious.
Wait, which one? Oh, Fallon?
You sound like you've got experience in this area. Not the area of Alzahar, but the other one.
Drugs.
Drugs.
Nah, man. I
Drugs.
live in libraries. I don't do drugs.
Most librarians do drugs.
I love to sniff those book pages.
Mr. Fallon, from Fallon's more of an academic from what I've seen. If she were to seek those, it would be to take notes, to spread the information, not
Protect your
partake in
girlfriend.
any illegal substances.
Yeah, I'm not about that life. She pushes her glasses up her nose.
There we go. Alright, whatever you say. As you talk with Anlin approaches back out of her office, carrying a small folded piece of parchment in her hand. And you're closest, so she hands it to you, Fallon, and says, "Here's your letter vouching for you."
Oh, is it for all four of us?
Yeah, it'll cover all of you.
Okay. Hey Tasha, where is it gonna include Tasha? Or Tasha, where do you live?
Well, I was not planning on staying in the embassy. So thank you for the offer, but I don't need it.
Okay, okay. Alright guys, we have a place to stay tonight. Success.
Hell yeah.
Now, I still need to put
Mission
together.
passed. Respect.
I still need to put together some of my thoughts on this, but I believe I may have future work for you if you're interested.
I'll never say no to a job.
Interessante.
Writes that down in notebook. Write that down. Write that down. We can use Fallon for anything.
But as for today, I think you'd better go get settled in at the embassy. If you come back tomorrow and are still interested in a job, then I might have more for you.
Right?
But for today, just go get settled in and have a look around town if you want. Sort of find your bearings.
Sounds good. Maybe I'll go find a library. She looks at
I think this is helping. I don't think this is helping. her
Ball's gonna like
reputation with
lean
them,
down
just saying.
behind. Ball's gonna lean down behind Maul and just be like, "I think you have angered her," and then just walk away.
Well,
She's going to take the long way around.
Oh
I'll
my
admit no
God.
offense.
Yeah, don't worry, it's fine.
It's fine.
What is this a map of, by the way?
It is a map of the kingdom.
Oh, cool. Do you, really quick question, do you make all the tiny assets in the maps?
No.
Okay. Just one.
I use Incarnate, which sort of provides a bunch of assets for you, and then
Gotcha.
I do put it all together.
Gotcha.
There's an old stream where I show it off, but yeah, I can show you the map if you want to look at it.
Do we want to look at it?
Up to you.
Rin has been copying down the map. Anyone's taking his eyes off them.
All right, then let's take a look at it. All right. So quite clearly, we are here.
Getting
Oh,
bold.
Nice map.
the Oasis looks very cool. I wanna trial of
I
Vimeth.
think we should go.
Wait, the trial looks very. Oh, it's gone now.
Maybe we don't do that.
A
Field
trial
trip
of
time?
We
Vimeth?
don't go do a trial.
Field trip. Field trip.
Field
I
trip.
say we take a field trip to the
Goodies.
Oasis.
We all
Could
could
be
down. Let's
goodies.
go.
No, we are level 1. How about everybody remember that?
How
No,
about
I don't think I will.
Please do. Please.
I don't think I will.
let's go look around the embassy.
Oh, I'm not at the door.
We can
LMAO.
step behind the desk now and make fun of the chameleon.
if the chameleon brings up any more references of or asks any more questions about Maul's family, there will be more than stepping behind.
My God, maybe don't fight the guy that's gonna be giving us our room. Maybe.
Not if
Or
we talk to
rooms for-
Zahindra. I think we should talk to Zahindra.
I think you should.
Anyway,
You make your way back across around the pyre to the other side of the square, where the embassy lays.
you all are so slow. Gosh,
I'm literally ahead of you.
Fallon's
got-
legs are
Tiny.
tiny.
with your tiny legs.
Bye, Tasha.
Oh, she's not coming with us.
No,
Oh
she
wait,
was,
I should.
She was walking along, kind of beside you.
Oh,
But
okay.
as you sort of approach the embassy, she says, "If you're going to be staying here for some time, I'll be around town if you want to talk to me again, I suppose."
Anyway, well, it was a pleasure meeting you. We are staying here. If you need something, don't hesitate to bother us. Val flashes a nervous smile and just walks away with her head down. Hey guys. Hey bestie, I can't do this today.
All right. So you make your way back into the embassy.
Fallon very quickly walks up to the desk and slams down the voucher.
God, petty today, aren't we?
It's
Uh,
deserved.
And then looks at him in one of his eyes.
You see his eyes kind of independently move first onto you, and then down onto the piece of parchment that you've slapped down onto his desk, and
Val
then
looks at me.
he grabs it, and you see his eyes kind of scan it independently. One sort of starts at the bottom, and the other starts at the top, and they move opposite each other. Yes, this does seem to be an official document from Captain Abby. All right. I suppose if she's vouching for you, then you can stay here. We have rooms on the ground floor. He motions in this direction, where you can leave your things and sleep for the night. And, well, on the left is the men's, and on the right is women's dormitories.
Oh.
You can leave your things there if you wish.
All right.
Heck
Fallon
yeah.
goes like nothing.
We move. We move.
We leave.
Nakity, she kicks down that no. She just
Walks in.
She knocks. Vol knocks polite, and then opens it. Oh, never mind. Never mind. She doesn't open it.
As you knock on the door, somebody opens it, and she says, "You see, this woman. She's wearing leathers and a white shirt, and she looks you up and down, and just says, you know you don't have to knock, right?"
I figured, but I also figured that knocking would be the right thing to do.
Well, you're staying here, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to knock.
Yeah.
She just sort of makes her way from the door.
Vol looks down at Fallon.
I was hoping you'd make the first move. I wasn't sure if we had to knock either or not.
I'm so glad that we both did not know what to do. I do not understand social cues. She just sobs quietly and walks in. Oh, which bed?
In the background, thanks for all the subs, guys. Trying to not interrupt too much, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's just been like a lot happening in the chat today.
Oh, Fallon, you're going. Oh, okay.
So as both groups make your way into these rooms, there's several beds set up, and some small bedside tables, as well as a chest in the corner to store some of your things. On the female side, it seems like the woman in this room has sort of set up her stuff on the bed on the far right, but on the men's side, you guys have your choice, as the room is empty.
I call the corner bed.
Rin has not picked a bed yet, nor has he said anything. He has been looking at Soots and writing furiously in his notebook ever since Soots lay down.
What you doing?
Oh, I don't get in contact with Wanty often, so I was just writing down some features I noticed.
It's okay. I don't mind. If there's anything you want to ask, you can ask now. I'm in a good mood.
Oh, okay. First question is, how did you get into the lantern? When have you been able to do that? Have you always been able to do that? Are Wanty's only able to do that? Yeah, several more questions firing off in quick succession.
Tutulia holds up a hand to like just pause him for a second. He's like, sorry, it's not Yuan-Ti specific. I can do it because I have Mm, he's not exactly sure how to put this because, like, I guess I could just say patron. Yeah, whatever. He's like, yeah, I have a patron, and she allows me to partake in the space she occupies occasionally.
Your patron is a lantern?
No, she just lives in it. It's kind of like her space.
Oh. I've never heard of something like that before, but a patron implies a pact, in which case you must have made a pact with some figure with a lantern. I've never heard of a demon or a devil with a lantern, so what kind of figure must it be? If it's not a demon or a devil, and it's in the I, I guess another question is, what about your pact? What made you agree?
Power.
Oh,
That and the pursuit of knowledge. I set him off!
Oh no!
Oh god! What have I done?
he can't even get out the word pursuit. He just keeps stuttering on the P syllable. But it is very obvious with his eyes glowing that Rindrub is very interested in that part.
It's okay. I'm more so interested in historical knowledge about, like, okay.
A cat. Is that your cat?
That was just, I don't know what noise that was.
Oh, okay.
I'm so confused.
So very, very excited. You see, like his hands like are shaking despite holding a journal and the quill. And even though he's 7 feet tall, you can't say for sure, but it feels like he's bouncing up and down despite being like 300 pounds.
I really like the mental image that Tutulia's just like laying there, like on his side. He's just like bouncing. Ranger was just like, yes. He's like vibrating.
What would you want to know? What historical data? I got lots to share and tell, and I can answer anything.
Mostly just magical objects, relics mainly. That's my field of knowledge, I guess.
Ooh, that is so cool.
What? It's just wrong.
What relics have you got in the past? What relics are you hunting right now? Are you on a mission right now? Is that why you're here?
Some of these questions are things I haven't thought. You're coming up with my backstory for me. That was out of character, by the way. I've seen a decent amount. I travel all over, so I've picked up a fair share of relics. Actually, this lantern is one of the things I found while relic hunting one time, and there just so happened to be a genie in it. So
Oh, that's
yeah, it's
that's
just circumstance.
that's amazing. Any time a genie is mentioned, it's never been factual. More like a rumor or a tall tale of something about 3 wishes being given, but the genie tricking the person in the story every time. Does yours trick you?
Absolutely not, and I don't think that Shyla's going to be very happy about this, and he's just like,
I would never
frantically
do
looking at the
something
lantern,
like that.
Nah. Oh, thank God. I'm sorry. I know you can get a little touchy about these sort of things.
How rude.
Who are you talking to?
My patron, the genie I mentioned.
Oh, you. Oh, you can communicate with it.
It's a little complicated. I sound like an idiot because she can talk to me directly in my mind, but I have to say things out loud. So.
That is so cool.
I like how he's just like fanboying right now.
Rindrov has been writing furiously the entire time Sitz has been talking.
Over in the other room.
Yeah.
For a moment.
No, I was just saying that because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if Fallon was considering this canon either. So I was
No, it's fine.
trying-
I just like to bounce
Okay,
back and forth
cool.
sometimes.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that you knew I wasn't rushing you. Like you can
Have you-
take your time with them.
I'll go by my own
Have you
pace.
guys
Don't worry
been
about
role playing the pillow fight the whole
that. Yeah, so there's been a pillow fight RP going on in the chat. the whole time. And
I was just having fun, man.
the girl here in your room is just sort of sitting on the bed and just watching you the entire time.
Her expression matches what she's saying.
And she just sort of, as you finish up what you're doing and Val starts to sort of put her things away, she just looks at the two of you and goes, "Are you two all right?"
Yeah? Yeah, are you good?
Yeah, I'm fine. You're new in town then, yeah?
Yeah. You just finally got a place to stay earlier.
The bed feels very comfy after like weeks of being on a ship bed for like ever.
Yeah, they're not too bad.
Right?
What
How-
did you say?
Oh, I said right?
The lady. What did she say?
She says,
Sorry.
yeah, they're not too bad. Sorry, I didn't catch any of your names.
Oh, I'm Fallon.
I am Volbella.
Fallon's standing on the bed, by the way.
Vol is just slightly behind it. She's holding a pillow in her hands. Like she was about to smack Fallon with the pillow.
Well, I'm Elizabeth. Elizabeth Upton.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth. Are you new in town?
I've been here for about a week, but other than that, yes, new in town.
What brought you here?
Archaeology.
Oh,
Is that the one where you dig up bones and things?
Yep, that's the
Think so.
one.
Brilliant.
I assume there's lots of bones in the desert.
That is actually quite scary to think about. We are just walking on bones. Lots and lots and lots of bones.
Oh my god, that is a scary thought.
Isn't it a little bit? Like tiny bit?
Yeah.
What kind of bones?
are you?
Yes! the
The
bird!
bird!
Well, yeah, there are quite a few bones in the desert, I'd imagine, but it's not exactly what I'm here for.
Oh, are you here for like the thing that Suits is here for? Like the artifacts and relics, and immediately Vol stops and like full body turns towards Elizabeth and like crawls over the bed and goes, "Do you have things about dragons?"
Mm, no, nothing about dragons, sorry. You said that
That is
you
okay.
you know somebody else who's also interested in archaeology.
She turns to Fallon and she like raises her hand in like her hands in a half shrug and goes, "Is it like archaeology? Did he say?"
I think Randra was just interested in everything.
No, not Dean. Suits.
Oh, Man, you'd have to ask him.
Yeah. I know that he's like interested in relics and things that are shiny and make people go
I can't. I'm literally just sitting here like, let's see how well this goes.
Also- yes, exactly. Vol is gonna like jump back a little bit and like sit down so that she's at least sort of kind of at height with Fallon and Elizabeth.
Fallon's standing on the bed next to where Val's sitting.
You know.
They are the same height because of this.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's it for me.
So you're in town looking for bones. Have you
Not
run
exactly
into
bones.
what?
Not exactly bones, no.
No.
You never told
Old
us what
things.
exactly. Exactly. That what Fallon said, yes.
Well, in particular, I would say that I'm looking for a certain dig site. To the north, past the oasis, there's this old temple, I suppose you could call it, that I was interested in taking a look at.
Hmm. Very nice.
Mm,
Have you gotten out
interesting.
there yet?
No, it's a bit of a trip across the desert, and I was waiting to find at least maybe a caravan or a group to go with. It's not safe
Via
to.
group?
It's not safe to travel the desert alone.
Oh, that's true. There's lots of bones out there.
So many bones. Dangerous bones that stick out of the sand and go boo.
Yeah, what Val said.
All right.
Do we what are we doing right now, Fallon?
Uh
Just staying in an inn, but like outside of that.
oh, we're making a living, I think.
Sure. Yes.
Meeting
100%.
people.
Not getting their names.
Yeah. At
Uh,
least the first part to solving a problem is knowing you have a problem.
this is true.
I suppose you're right.
Do you have a problem that outside of needing a caravan, which I think that we kind of sort of can help with?
Oh yeah. You need any help in town? We can be bodyguards. We can be find out some information for you. We got
Well,
lots of qualities.
I think I'll be all right. I don't need a bodyguard. But I would be interested in meeting this this friend of yours.
Oh yeah.
I don't. Oh.
Oh no.
Val turns her head and like sort of looks up at Fallon and goes, "Do you think that he would be very nice to her? He's kind of a
in quotes.
dick."
If he starts to be mean, we just like end the conversation, get her out
I
of there.
bring pillow. You bring pillow. You see what I'm getting at here?
Yes. If we both get him down, we can put the pillow over his face, right?
That's not what I mean.
Oh.
I mean to hit him with the pillow.
Oh yeah. I can do that.
What are you used to?
What? I don't know. What are you talking about?
Fallon, I'm beginning to wonder if the chameleon had correct assumption. Or it wasn't the chameleon. It was Mal. It was Mal. Pretend I said Mal.
Nah. I was just. That's where I thought you were going.
Okay, nope. Anyway, take pillow. I take pillow. I hide the pillows.
Maybe you should hold both pillows.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway, follow us to room.
Yeah.
She grabs up the pillows and oh no, marches. over to the boys' room.
As Val marches out, Fallon, Elizabeth just sort of whispers to you, "Do you want to bring my pillow too?"
How about a knife? Nah, you don't need a pillow.
Well, I got one of those too.
Oh, yeah,
Can
you
I
should buy them if you really
perception
need
check
it.
to see if I hear that? Oh my god.
So, Jay, Rin was the last to enter the boys' room, so the door is not locked.
Oh, brilliant. Imagine
She
not
kicks
locking
it
the
open.
door.
She kicks it
That's
open.
stupid.
Valbella
What the
didn't
hell?
knock this time.
Hello, losers. What
Why
is
are you
up?
here?
Oh,
We have friends who. Yes, Rin.
my name's Rindra. I don't know if you forgot that. It isn't loser.
I did. Oh, Rin, you sweet summer child.
God.
Don't worry,
Anyway,
Renrob, you're not a loser.
you're not a loser. It is heartwarming figure of speech.
Oh,
Is
Big-
it?
figures of
Yes.
speech. Gosh, you gotta keep a collection.
Anyway, she walks over to Suits.
What's with
Hey.
the pillows?
Go too close.
Nothing. Do
Nothing.
not ask questions that we do not have answers for yet. Anyway,
Uh,
she stares at Rindra.
Is this even allowed? Are we allowed to have? Is the chameleon
I'm not
gonna yell
being
at us?
rude.
I don't want to get yelled at by a lizard. He's
I do not
fully
think
aware he is part
so.
snake.
I do not think we're going to. Anyway, before we forget, this is a little bit. She's an archaeologist, and we told her that we had a friend who's like kind of sort of into like the archaeology, and that she displayed interest in wanting to meet you. So hi, hello, say hi, be nice.
So you're the one they were talking about then, yeah?
That's me. They've probably said all sorts of wonderful, nice things about me, haven't they?
Yes, of course. I'm Elizabeth Upton. The name Upton rings a bell to both you, Cecilio, and you, Rindrov. Now you're not certain that she is one of the same Uptons, but both of you would be aware that there is a prominent researcher, Cecilio, because of his area of focus is why you know him, and Rindrov just because he's a prominent researcher in general, by the name of Archibald Upton, who has done tons and tons of research in the field of archaeology and has written several books.
Miss Upton?
Yeah.
You don't happen to be related to Archibald Upton, do you?
You see her look slightly sad for a moment, and then she brightens back up again and goes, yeah, that's my father.
Oh, that makes sense that you're so interested in archaeology. It's a proud tradition. Your father's a really prominent archaeologist, almost as good as my mom.
Aw.
Well, he was a prominent archaeologist.
Oh shit.
Does he no longer study?
Well, he passed away 2 months ago.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry for your loss.
And, well, he left behind unfinished business, and, well, that's why I'm here. To, finish it for him.
what are you referring to an expedition or a dig site?
Yes, actually. I don't know how much you know about the history of Zul'Garan, if you're all new here, but a good number of years ago, there was a tomb unearthed here. And the locals call it Ain Sidram. Now, my father was one of the men who uncovered it. And they spent quite some time learning about it, and, well, after they found their way inside, they were a little bit disappointed to find that it was only a small tomb. And the other researchers who worked with my father, they all abandoned the project, but my father, he insisted that there was more to it, that it wasn't just some small tomb, that there had to be something else to it. And, well, he never gave up, and, well, he became obsessed with it for the rest of his life. It consumed him, and he fell out of favor with the other researchers in his circle, and, well, sort of became a disgraced archaeologist. They all considered him mad. But I always believed that he was right. And, well, after he passed away, I decided to prove him right.
That's nice.
Did he ever find
honorable.
anything?
Well, the only thing he found, she reaches inside her shirt. The only thing that he found is this. And she pulls out a necklace that she has sort of tucked under her shirt. And she shows it to you. Have you ever seen anything like this? Just give me a sec. I'll show it to you.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Can't see it.
So she shows you a small silver amulet, and it is emblazoned with a symbol. A scorpion inside of a sun.
Can't say that I have, but it looks interesting.
A question for you.
Yes.
Does this, whatever you seem to be looking for, happen to have any sort of strong religious connotation attached to it? Like so strong that you might even say it has a cult?
My god. Subtle, aren't you?
Well, I'm not sure, to be
Cannot
honest.
pull punches. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Just wondering, you know, because we've kind of heard some things in the town about a cult. Just wondering, you know. That's it, that's all.
A cult in town?
I don't know. I'm new in
Don't
town.
mention that to every person you meet.
She's
He's like whispering.
harmless. She's harmless.
She's been here like a week. How would she know about a cult?
We've
The
been
cult's
here
new in
for
town
like
too.
we've been here like for a day and we know of the cult. Shut up.
We literally spied on people who knew about the cult. That's how we found out about it in the first place.
Exactly. But we've been here for like
No.
a day and we know of the cult.
Maybe she
You're
knows
insufferable.
about the gang as well. Maybe some information we didn't know.
Hey Elizabeth, do you know anything about a gang?
A gang? What sort of
Yeah.
gang?
Thank you, Fallon. Thank you.
Well, I've heard rumors about all sorts of gangs in Al Zahar, but I try to stay away from that.
Yeah. We're
See?
talking about the Southwall Scurriers, right? Little rat people.
Yes, South Hall Scurriers.
Well, I've given Southwall a rather wide berth, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we haven't even been there.
We've been here a day. Of course we haven't been there.
It was a very eventful day.
It has been very eventful, I agree.
But Elizabeth, were you planning going by yourself to Ein Sidram?
Well, not by myself. I need some sort of caravan. Wandering the desert alone is not a good idea, and I probably wouldn't last long. I'm not much of a fighter, but I was actually not looking to head right to Ein Sidram. I have another lead that relates to this necklace. And from what I can gather, it seems to connect to a temple further in the north. I'd like to head there first.
What's the temple?
Well, I haven't been able to find any sort of name for it, but it appears to be some old abandoned, some sort of structure built into the side of a mesa up towards the north of Sulgaran.
Swear if any of you offer to go with her, I'm glaring daggers at all of you right now.
Didn't me and Val already offer to be a caravan? Or no? Did we?
You did.
Yeah.
No!
Well, if it could help put your mind at ease and clear your father's name or satisfy your curiosity, I would be interested in assisting in a long form expedition to Ein Sidram.
Yes, well, I am looking for people to accompany me, so I'm going to be in town for a little longer until I can find a caravan. If you hear anything about any groups traveling north, I'd be grateful if you let me know. Or suppose if you're ever traveling north, I could accompany a few of you if you were alright with that.
You can do that.
We'll let you know.
Alright, thank you. I can leave you to your business.
Fair enough.
I mean, we don't really have any business.
We don't. We really do not.
Did you really agree to go to some random temple with
What
somebody
are we doing?
you don't know?
What else are we doing?
Yes. I mean, we agreed to spy on some people for people we don't know.
Exactly.
People with a reputation. This is
She
some
has a
random
reputation.
thing.
No,
Hey,
isn't.
she's in here. She needed a reputation to get in here. She has it.
Also,
It's
did
probably
not
from her dad.
exactly. Her father
Exactly.
is known.
We should actually talk about that. I know we just met a few hours ago, but despite just barely knowing each other, we worked well in uncovering the information. There's a lot to discover around the place. I'd be interested in continuing to work together if you all would be interested.
Admittedly, I sort of kind of thought that we were stuck together. If I'm being honest here.
Oh. Like in a I don't follow. stuck how?
I mean, were any of us gonna leave? Or are we all staying in town?
I plan to stay. Suits and Val, what are your plans? If you are trying to speak, you may be muted.
No, I was. I had a call coming through. I was trying to see if I was still muted or not. I plan to stay, but that's just for now.
I came here to I seek information. I'm procuring it very slow at a very slow rate, but I'm procuring it all the same, so I plan to stay.
Then we can decide together what to work on. What does everyone want to do? We all likely came for a reason.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Um, are we having information exchange session? Do we get to know about each other now? Oh, this is very
No.
exciting.
Val
sits on the
and
floor.
then goes to bed.
Val sits
Well,
on the floor.
I can tell you, I came here to just explore and learn. I just want to see everything Grand Lorien has to offer, and Zahar is a pretty good place for that, from the stories I've heard about it anyway. So I am interested in all facets of information and explorations and adventures.
Very honorable goals.
Yeah, I like that goal. That's my goal too.
Fair enough. Suits?
I'd like to peruse what there are. There are probably some nice relics for sale. I'd like to see if there's anything of value. And there's a lot of interesting places to explore in the desert, finding a relic or two, but I usually work alone with these sort of things.
Shucks. Too bad.
We can stand a couple feet away.
Social distance yourselves from me. Get away.
Also, sorry, I have a donut.
Dang, what flavor?
For reference, it is it's the afternoon approaching the evening, so you still have some hours of daylight left, but not a whole day ahead of you. So if you want, you can still do things.
Oh, cool.
But if you also are like, nah, let's just go to bed, I suppose you can do that as well.
I don't know, gang. What do you want to do?
Well, the Rangers mentioned South Hall Scurriers and how they were over there. That's likely where their base of operations. I was curious what we could gather if we headed over there for a bit.
I'm not doing anything.
Should we do
I
it in the morning
refuse
or
to
now?
go over there.
It'd
Why?
probably be
Not
safer in the
today.
morning.
There's less likely to be more of them in the morning. They most likely operate at night, but I don't think encountering a known gang in the wee hours of the night is a good idea the first day that we come here.
True.
Fair enough.
It'd be really bad if we ran into the two scurriers that we already saw that all saw us at the bar.
They did not see Suits.
Oh, that's true.
No.
One man job.
Absolutely
One man
not.
job.
No.
One man job. One man
No.
job. You
It-
could impress the cute little tiefling at the Ranger's place.
I'll throw weapons at you. I will.
Do it, bitch.
You can
Pulls out a deck.
you can pull out your map, as you do have one, if you want to look at sort of the layout of the city. All right, let's take a look. You
Meanwhile, Sits and Vol
you
are having a brawl.
You unfold
Yeah.
the ink map that you have and take a look.
There's some marketplace, right?
We could go to the marketplace, the
Ooh.
bazaar, have good time
Ooh.
there.
My mouse is gone. That's fine.
That pit
I'll
down
be
there
back
looks
in
nice.
a few seconds.
The pit!
The
The pit!
I think that we should go to the pit. Who knows what's in the pit, guys?
Refuse. Refuse is in the pit.
Let's jump in it and see what happens.
Oh my god. Tetanus.
Yay!
You jump in the pit and like you get impaled on a spike.
Did you
was
all
like, "Oh,
take your
this happens."
tetanus shots, guys?
I
Everyone
don't
get
need
their
a tetanus shot. I have poison immunity.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I'm interested in going to the Gold Bazaar. A lot would be there. It'd be interesting to see what Al Zahar has to offer.
I'm also
Versus-
interested in going to the bazaar as well.
Yeah.
I just had to run up and down 2 flights of stairs to get a mouse. I hate this.
Say about it.
I hate my stupid little Chromebook.
So as this is the first time you've been to any of these locations, if you're going to one that is like farther off, I'm gonna have you go through the ones that are on the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once you've been to everywhere, then I'll skip you around. But since this is the first time and you'd have to travel through a place to get to a place,
Jay,
just
please be kind to us. No more hot NPCs.
Small,
I don't
ugly.
think that's I think that's gonna be an issue for
all
you.
right. Yeah, then let's end the session here, and I'll go make all new NPCs. Hang on, I'll be right back. Give me like
No,
another month or
let's
so.
go to the bazaar. He has to replace every single NPC that's in the
Oh
entire campaign.
no! Oh no!
Sounds like a personal problem. Go cry about it.
Yeah, so you guys just tell me where you want to go, and then I'll tell you where you'd have to travel to get there.
The
Okay.
bazaar, I think, is what we
Yeah, let's go to
agreed
the
on.
bazaar.
Right. So you could head further south and make your way through Slumtown if you wanted, but if from where you are right now, it would be through Residential District would get you to the Golden Bazaar. If you really wanted to take a detour, you
fine.
could avoid the Residential District, but I'm just saying.
No, I think we should go through the residential
Yeah.
district.
Yeah.
I want to see
We can
hot
take a look.
NPCs.
Then I can bring you back if you're done with the map.
Yeah.
All right.
The Hindra, my beloved.
You fold
Oh,
up your map and
God.
tuck it away, and have a few more hours of daylight ahead of you that you can do with what you wish.
Go to the bazaar.
We go into the bazaar.
The bazaar with my
What will they buy at the bazaar? The world.
No.
Oh wait,
Nothing.
yeah. Vol grabs her armor and shield and stuff and puts it back
Yeah,
on.
that might be a good idea. That's why I didn't take anything off because you guys are stupid.
All right.
We were having a pillow fight and it was very fun.
Exactly.
Oh, a pillow fight.
Do you still have 2 pillows on you?
Before they leave, Vol is gonna swing for Soots with the pillow.
All right, make an attack.
Yeah.
roll. Make an
Oh,
attack. roll.
god. How do I make like a regular? Oh, unarmed. Is it unarmed strike? Would it
Yeah,
be?
it's 2 and unarmed.
Okay.
You have to be
I
kidding me.
got
You have to
a
be kidding me.
20. Not net. It's a dirty 20.
That hits, but it's a pillow, so it's not gonna do any damage.
Yeah. Right. Oh
You're
god.
back. Oh my god.
But Cecilia, you get just sort of smacked over the back of the head
You get
with a pillow.
thwacked. You get thumped.
All right, you make
He
your
may
way
die tonight.
back out to Pyre
I
Square.
would like to see you try, tiny man.
Val wakes up in the desert tomorrow morning.
Ready's Eldritch Blast.
If Soots can carry her.
Mm,
Anyway.
Probably could.
Oh, hello, Tasha. Is she actually
What the-
there?
No.
Okay.
Oh, she disappeared.
She's gone. Oh god, where did she
Magic.
go?
Magic. It's magic.
This sucks. I have
Alright.
to use my arrow keys to move, but I have to use my mouse to move the map. This is ridiculous. I hate my computer.
So you head slightly south and a little bit east in the city. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, I was about to say our maps didn't change.
Yeah, I know. I just
Oh, okay, got it.
I'm prepping it. Oh, wrong one. There we go. All right. You head southeast and wind your way around some streets and eventually see the buildings turn more into houses. Some of them with straw roofs, some of them slate, and arrive in the residential district.
Nyan Hari, hello.
I feel like you're more surprised about there being Nyan Hari than there should be, considering that it's like the main.
Oh no, I'm
It's like a
not. I just
big
enjoy their character portraits. They're all so cute.
So you like cat girls? Very interesting.
There are multiple cat people on the screen. Shut your mouth.
Does a little dancey dance.
So you can see
I don't know who drew
some
that part.
people.
Yeah.
You can see some people standing around. Off to your, it would be your right as you make your way down the road. You can see some guards standing in front of a building, as well as a Nyan Hari man who is just sort of seated here, and he has a knife in his hand, and he's just sort of whittling away at a piece of wood.
Nice.
Oh, wood whittling.
I
Paul
love how
walks
you're whittling
over.
that wood.
I like how you guys are just.
I
so
like how you
animated.
whittle that wood, baby. Anyway.
Hey Jay, I think I'm quitting the campaign. Can you like delete my character sheet?
What are you whittling?
He seems to just be carving a small piece of wood into the shape of a lizard, and he just sort of looks up and says, just a hobby of mine. Can I help you? Do you need something?"
I do not think that we do. She looks at her companions.
We need your name.
Yes. We're
Give
like
us a name tag,
Tabaxi, but
Jay.
we're like Tabaxi, but we steal names.
Well, it's Rama.
Rama.
What? How is that even spelled?
R-A-M-A. Fool.
I'm sorry, I'm not on my computer right now.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
A computer, what's that?
What are you making there, Rama?
Just a small carving of a lizard.
Ooh, I'm a lizard.
Is there?
No.
there-
Objectively, no.
She points. She points. at
Partially.
Soot. She goes, we have a lizard. That's out of character. That's out of character.
I'll hiss at you with my little snake tongue. I will.
is there significance with the lizard?
Not really. That's what I decided to carve.
For fun.
Fair enough. I think we should leave the good man alone now and carry on with our business.
Onward.
Yeah. Really?
Have a
Onward.
nice day, Rama.
Are we going this way?
I don't know.
Is that
Uh,
I
residential
think
area?
we're going more south.
No, this would take you to
oh,
the Golden Bazaar.
okay.
Okay, well, I'm just stupid, I guess.
Either or is
It's
fine.
hard-
Doesn't really matter.
It's
Do we
hard
want to
know
meet the
you don't
cat?
have the
Do we
map.
want to meet the cat girl?
Do
Then yeah.
you
We can-
want to meet the cat
No,
girl?
I'm
Do you?
fine.
Let's keep
Are
going.
you?
We can always meet her later.
Yeah, we'll meet her later.
All right. So this takes you off on your map, sort of in the direction of Pillory Plaza. But if you want to sort of duck down a side street, you don't have to go there. You can head straight to the bazaar if you want.
Do you
More
guys?
exploration. I like exploring.
I'll look at the side street.
Yeah, let's go to the side street.
Yay,
Let's
side
look at the-
street.
Let's look at the beautiful side street that Jay so lovingly crafted for all of us.
All right.
Watch him not have
Let me go down the alley.
a lovingly crafted alleyway that he uses for everything.
Right, here you go.
Right?
Alley.
Oh wow! Lovingly.
Is it
crafted
lovingly
alleyway.
crafted?
Yes.
My
I
God.
can't see. I'm not at my
Lovingly
computer.
crafted.
Oh,
So you guys will be over here.
It is very lovingly crafted.
oh my God, Rindra, if you like
It's a nice alleyway.
leapt.
It's a good alleyway.
Oh my
Alley's
God,
supposed to be darker.
I thought that the broken chair was a body.
Oh, me too for a second.
Oh my
not gonna
God.
lie.
I
You
was
duck
like,
down.
God, please.
Duck down a side street. And decide to take a small detour on your way to the bazaar.
Why not get familiar? Yeah, sure.
So weird seeing the profiles flipped.
If the map is right, it should be this way.
Where you going?
All right. And
I'm shocked nothing jumped at us. Not. Oh, is that an old lady?
Go introduce yourself.
It's not an old lady.
It's
That
not.
is- That is a
I
myth.
think that's an
dog.
old lady.
When it's zoomed out, it kind of looks like an old lady.
all right.
It
So
does.
you arrive in a large open square. The first thing you see in the center of the square is a raised wooden platform. In the center of that platform is a stockade or a pillory where a man is currently locked in place. Off to your left, you can see a well with a large minotaur just carefully filling up buckets. And then a couple houses also line the square. And the last thing that catches your attention is on the far end of the square, a rather fancy looking building with some light sconces on the outside of it sits.
Is that that must be the thing that they've mentioned a bunch? That place. Yeah. Tavern thing, whatever.
Probably.
The Minotaur is gathering up water, but he turns to you, Fallon, as you approach and says, yes, little one, can I help you?
Hello. I'm Fallon.
Nice to meet you. Is there something that you needed? Did you need
Not really.
water from the well?
Not really. I mean, I guess I'll take a bucket.
Well, these are my buckets.
Oh.
Steal a bucket from him?
Oh my God.
This is humiliating, I think.
I don't need your buckets. I just wanted to say hello. My name's Fallon. What's yours?
Well, my name is Rarus.
Hello, buddy.
That's a nice name.
I'm so glad that we got it this right now instead of. Anyway.
What'd that
What's
guy
going
in the
on?
middle over there do?
I'm not sure. I suppose you could ask him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ask him.
Oh, Christ.
Is it bad to be up there? It looks pretty bad.
Looks pretty shitty. not
Well,
gonna
yes,
lie.
it's for criminals, so it's not a good place to be.
Yeah, it doesn't look fun. Actually, yeah, kind of. Actually, no, I don't need any water.
Does he
We
need
throw the
out
water.
there?
I was thinking about
I don't
that.
think we should give water to criminals. Just
Oh,
saying.
I was just gonna dump it on him.
Hey.
Funny. That's funny.
Anyway, so let's ask a question.
Gonna yell at him and be like, "Hey, what did you do? Why are you up there?"
So currently he is facing.
Are we at
This way.
ass level
Are we
right
at-
now?
are we at- No. Hey.
Um,
Hey. sorry.
And he is he's
what do you
sort of
do?
he's bent over with his head and hands in the stockade, so he couldn't see you from there. But as you circle around,
Does he have a nice butt?
Oh my god!
That's a joke. That's well, if you want to answer.
he's a rotund gentleman.
He's got a okay. All right.
He's got a chonker on him.
My god, I can't. Can we maybe go back to the original conversation, please? Just a thought. Just a thought. Maybe.
We never had a conversation go with. Anyway, continue.
He looks up at the lot of you as you stand in front of him, and he says, "Hey, you, come
Which
closer.
one of us?
Come
You-
closer.
Yusuf.
Go. How?
Go up the
Go up
stairs."
the stairs.
Oh my god. Oh, Vol could just
Sorry,
vault
I'm
it.
a little stupid. Okay. What's up?
You've got to help me out of here.
Why?
Well, the crime that they've accused me of, I'm innocent. I didn't do it.
What did they accuse you of?
They arrested me for breaking into one of my rivals' shops, but I was never there. I never did anything like that.
Can we perception check this?
You can insight
Yeah.
check him, yeah.
I'm gonna insight check
Insight,
him.
yeah.
Just one of
I
you do
also-
it. Whoever has the higher
Oh, okay.
value do it, and do it with
I
advantage.
got it.
since
19.
look.
You're all here.
Okay. Well, Paul already did it.
Sorry.
What'd you get?
I mean,
Sorry?
you can roll. I got 19.
No, that's okay.
He doesn't seem like nervous or anything like that. You don't get any sort of strange vibes from him when he says that. It
Okay.
seems like he is earnestly pleading for help.
Okay.
Well, maybe
Well,
tell me that, because
Yeah, that's yeah. Vol's gonna like jump up onto the wooden block here and be like, "Well, it seems that he is telling the truth. I can't detect any lies of any sort." I love how Fallon's just slowly creeping up.
Yeah.
I
It's taken
imagine
her,
she was like
5 minutes to try to
scrambling,
yeah.
but I do not think that he is lying.
I mean, if it's people that are important that put him here, I don't really want to get in trouble.
Rindrev's gonna whisper to the rest of the party, if we free this man, we're putting our voucher at risk in case he really did commit a crime.
But I'm telling you all, he's not lying. It does not seem like he's lying.
Who do you?
I
Who?
don't know if that's up for us to decide.
True.
Vol like lifts her head up and she looks at them and she goes, "Who put you back there? In there? I do not know."
The town watch, of course.
Zahindra? Them? Or Anlin?
But neither the town watch, not the rangers
So
or
neither of them.
the consulate.
So, I mean, our voucher is safe then.
They're still connected. It's still like a sort of government thing.
But, like, the town watch and this consulate are not connected to
I mean,
the town watch, it seems.
Vol
Vol doesn't know.
there are two members of the town watch standing out front of the consulate, but
Oh,
Eh,
all
shush, shush,
the
shush, shush.
bird people.
Listen,
Gotcha.
if we can,
You know, for a criminal.
if
Okay,
we-
listen.
listen. If we can find something, I'm not saying we need to do this now, because we were going to the bazaar, and I don't want to not go to the bazaar. But if
Your trinkets can
say-
wait.
no, say tomorrow we come back and we do
Okay.
a little investigating. We can see if we can prove him innocent, and then he can leave without us getting in trouble with the people that may make us lose our housing.
yes, exactly. All you need to do is find something that proves that I'm innocent, or find the real culprit, and then they'll let me out.
Fair enough.
First, if we want to decide to help, we should get some information. Sir, what's your name?
My name is Safid Al-Bacho.
And Safir Bacho. You said you were accused of stealing from a rival merchant.
Yes.
What is the name of your shop, and what's the name of the rivals?
Well, the rival shop, it's in the residential district.
We were just there.
Wow, we have to turn around.
What's
It's like I
the
should have never gotten up
name?
on this platform.
How do we see the shop?
Well, it was just a general store in the sort of northwest corner of the plaza in the residential district.
We passed that.
It's the guards in front of it, right?
Do you know? Yeah, was that the guards? Are there guards in front of it?
Well, I don't know about that, but if it is a crime scene, then perhaps.
Hmm.
And what is the name of your shop? Why would you be falsely accused of stealing?
I run one of the market stalls in the Golden Bazaar. And, well, they said that there was a eyewitness account that said that somebody saw me entering that shop last night. But I was never there, so that's impossible.
Well, where were you?
I was at home.
Okay. Well, if we have somebody that can place him at home, then case closed. Somebody aside from someone who lives with him. If he has an alibi.
No, I was home alone.
Okay. Thanks.
Well,
This is becoming more difficult.
We could
If-
wait. We could ask.
Go ahead,
ahead.
Val.
Okay. We could ask we could ask Rama if he saw anybody last night.
Yes, you could ask around with some of the city folk and see if any of them saw anything else, or you could take a look at if the guards will let you the crime scene itself, or you could go to the refuse pit and see if anyone dished any evidence.
we get to go to the pit.
We're going to the
God damn
pit.
it. We're going to the pit, boys.
Oh,
I mean, we could
What
also
what kind of
go
stuff
to
would you
the
need to
bazaar.
break into a place? Crowbar.
probably
I don't think
some
that we are going to
combination
need
of
to break into it.
Yeah, I don't think we're
tools.
gonna really need that sort of thing, because we don't, like, how are we gonna, we're gonna be like, oh, this is a generic crowbar, anybody could own this.
Yeah, I got one right here.
Fallon,
What?
time that you speak, I grow a little bit more afraid of you.
That's interesting, but maybe put that away for right now.
Oh, okay.
Ren just walks away.
Well, you said an eyewitness placed you at the crime scene. Do you know who the eyewitness is?
No, I'm not sure.
Well, I think that's all the information I think I need. If we can, we might be able to help you.
How long are you up here for?
A few days now.
When do you stop being up here?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Time. Let's go to the bazaar.
Oh my god. I feel like there are other pressing matters than the bazaar.
Listen, his shop is at the bazaar. We can visit his shop while we're there, okay? So we don't have to backtrack.
All in favor of going to the bazaar, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor of helping Safid right now. Aye.
We'll get to it. We have all night.
We literally have undetermined amount of time.
I cannot stand Any of you, except for Rin.
He said I to both.
Okay.
He's on thin fucking ice.
We should go over. We can maybe collect clues at his former stall.
Yeah.
We may be back. Sit
Just
tight,
never come back.
Zafira.
Right. You make your way down off the raised wooden platform.
This is not the way back to where his store was.
How do we get to the bazaar?
Heading south from here would get you to the bazaar.
Can't fucking Val is just muttering under her breath. Cannot believe that they're not helping him. He's filthy shit bastards.
We will literally help him later.
Oh my goodness.
All right. You make your way winding around some more streets and eventually see the buildings turn into tents and market stalls as you arrive at the Golden Bazaar. One sec, let me.
Oh no, a child.
It's just me.
Pretty person with horn.
Please shut up. Please.
I'm looking at the edges. Leave me be. There are two very pretty people with horns here.
All right, one sec.
Me? No.
Well, okay, there's like three. I didn't want to say it out loud.
All right.
I think that Soots would be a fan of one of them, but maybe that's just me.
I think I will come over there and beat your ass. I think I will.
You arrive
Yeah, you think?
in a very crowded street with lots of people bustling back and forth, all vying for the wares of the various merchants who are all shouting out what they have at their stalls. Before you, directly in front of you, you can see sort of an opening, a square with a fountain in the center of it, as well as a street that leads off to the left.
I guess we go in. Loving the vibes.
Oh, the vibes are immaculate. Sure.
Water.
You can see,
Sippy, sippy.
in the center of the square, you can see a circle of stalls with various wares all placed out in front of them. As you pass by, this dragonborn man here shouts out, "Fresh fruit! Fresh fruit!"
He's so cute.
Oh my god. Y'all want to buy some fresh fruit?
I'm broke.
Just
I'm
kidding,
not.
you're all poor.
Eat dirt.
You would.
No, you.
Oh,
kind of.
I already did know you.
As they walk past, Vol kind of like bows her head in acknowledgement to the dragonborn man.
Wait, what's
And
the
just-
guy's name that we just saw?
Oh my god.
I think you might have to ask him that.
We double back. Never mind. We double back.
No,
We're
you're
back.
not.
His name is Safid Albacho.
Hey, do you know where Safid Albacha's stall usually is? Or is?
Bird.
Safid. He has a stall on the north side of the bazaar. Orange and white stripe on the tent.
Okay, thank you.
Though I don't think you'll find him there.
Yeah,
we know
yeah,
where we
know.
can find him.
Alright, come back if you need fresh fruit.
Everybody's just
I'll
like,
give you
Yes,
good
sir.
prices.
We know where he
Yeah.
is.
Thank you, sir. They continue on.
Hey, Valbella, look
Mushrooms.
At the, mushroom
Shut up.
seller. Yeah.
Mushroom stain. Mushroom stain.
I wonder what kind of mushrooms
Oh.
they are.
The woman here says,
oh.
I sell variety of potions as well if you're interested.
Wait, what else does she sell? Oh, potions.
Potions. Yes.
She kind of Vol looks at Suits and goes, "Do you think that we're gonna like? Wait, do you think that we're going to need any potions ever?"
Breaks accent.
Shut up.
Not right now.
Fair
They may
enough.
come back. These mushrooms look really good. Some high quality mushrooms.
I love how we're still at the mushroom stall and
Everybody's
Rin
just, like,
and
moving
Fallon
around.
are gone. What kind of potions do you sell?
All sorts. I have potion of fire resistance, poison resistance. I have
Don't need that.
lesser regeneration. I have elixirs of health, antidotes.
If we go to the tomb, it might be important to pick up some health potions whenever we come back.
Yes, only 50 gold.
Yeah,
Fuck.
gonna say, we do not have that kind of money.
Fuck. Interesting. We will keep this in mind then. When we can afford it.
You're broke.
I don't know
Why
why
does
your
my health...
yeah, I don't know why your health is there, and I don't know why it's wrong.
Yeah, it did that earlier. My health isn't
It's
9.
just kind of
What the
vibing.
fuck?
Oh, hey, wait, somebody's raiding.
There you go. Thanks for the raid, Tavernaut. Hope you guys had a good stream.
Maybe it's only increments of 3. Hello. Oh, pretty sun lady. I should have asked for her name.
Oh my god. I might smack you every time you say something like that.
So aren't you proud of me? I did not say anything to the lady.
I'm very proud of you. Good job.
The
You won a gold
sarcasm is very
star?
apparent. The sarcasm is very apparent. So if you're going to be mean, then just do not say anything at
Sarcasm is
all.
very apparent.
Punch! Just kidding. She doesn't.
Thanks for the sub as well. You come across the stall that was mentioned, the orange and white stripe on it. It appears to be mostly empty. There's no merchandise set up. The back storage doesn't seem to be any merchandise lined up or anything like that, and there's no one under the tent manning it. Seems abandoned.
Should we all make investigation rolls? I saw that Fallon did.
I see dirt.
I see dirt.
You guys can do it. I don't care.
I got a 17.
You don't seem to find much at all. All of the merchandise seems to have been moved away from this location. Seems like the stall itself has been abandoned.
That's a bit odd.
Mm.
He was either rested before he had time to set up on the day,
So-
or someone came in and took all his stuff away.
They
It's- I
probably
think-
put it away.
Unless
think that-
people
oh.
took it.
Right, that could be true. I think that we should investigate. Ask about the other stalls here. I think that the best way that we can do that is that we split up. How would you like to?
Well, let's have me and Fallon be on separate teams since we both have notes. We can each take notes down for the other person we're with.
All right, Rin, Fallon, who would you like to be?
Great.
Wait,
I'll go with Rin.
oh fuck. Okay.
Sorry, Fallon.
Nah,
Wow.
It's
Rin
okay.
and I are besties.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Fallon and I are besties, so
Yeah, we
you
are.
can start. The pillow fight was an integral part of their friendship. I think that got them up.
Being
and
asked like tens of questions was like
I think that the pillow fight was our like too hard event.
Cecilia has a humongous ego, so he's like, yes, ask me more questions about myself. Please.
Alright, Valbella and Fallon, you approach this stall here. It seems to be selling fish and seafood.
First off, this is a very nice fish right here. I like it.
I think that's a shark.
It's a very nice shark you have here, sir.
Yeah, so you're looking to buy?
How much is it?
Depends, do you want the whole shark?
How much would a whole shark cost me?
200 gold.
No. Actually, I was gonna ask you about your little stall neighbor over there.
Ah, you mean Safid Albacho.
Yeah, him.
What about him?
Oh, so he's been arrested, I guess.
Yes, I heard.
Do you know why?
I didn't really ask. Less competition in the market is never a bad thing, I suppose. So I don't really care.
Well, do you know what time he was here until yesterday?
Yesterday he wasn't here at all.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. He hasn't been here for a few days.
Oh, yeah, you're right. On the day that he got arrested, do you remember how long he was here for?
I don't remember.
Does he seem like the person that would, like, actually rob somebody else?
Can I roll a perception check?
You can roll perception if you want to. Are you trying to insight though?
Fuck, I always get them confused.
Okay, that was what I thought.
What is the difference between them?
So perception is like looking for something. So if you wanted to like notice
Okay.
something in the environment, hey, can I look at blank thing? It'd be like a
Okay,
very
got it.
visual check, usually, or like hearing or smell or something like that. Insight would be sort of sussing out somebody's motive or somebody's if they get nervous about something or if they're lying to you. That's kind of what that is. It's more
Okay.
of like a discussion thing. Insight.
Got it. Okay, so insight is for verbal, perception is for visual.
Not always visual. It can be. You can do a perception
Right.
check for hearing, for smelling,
Okay.
things like that. But yeah, typically an insight check is done in conversation, and a
Okay.
perception check would be done on the environment.
Got it.
But yeah, you can insight check him with an 18. He seems generally disinterested in Safid.
So Val's gonna lower her voice and turn sort of kind of to Fallon. He's not very I think that he's telling the truth, that he's not very interested in Safid, and I think that we should move on before we give away too much.
Yeah, I think we should. Do you want to go say hi to that scary lady right there?
Sure.
Alright,
Hold
you gonna
on.
talk first?
Before
I
you
can
leave,
do it. Ah,
Yes.
yes.
I have more items in the back if you want.
I'm kind of broke.
Like what?
Well, I can sell you merchandise, golden scale certified, for very cheap. Best prices in town.
I have 1 gold. What could 1 gold get me from you?
1 gold
Do you-
is a little shallow.
What are
Hey,
the
but it could be
merchandise?
your 1 gold.
What are the merchandise?
Well, all sorts of official Golden Scales merchandise. I can sell you packs. I can sell you.
He has sweatshirts.
Is he a merch vendor? Oh my god.
He has like little hats.
I can sell you haversacks. I can sell you herbalism kits. What are you looking for? I have a lot of. I have a lot of different merchandise.
Keep this in mind. Yeah, we'll keep this in mind.
All right.
Thank you for the information that you
Wait,
have
is he
provided.
turned around looking at his stuff?
No, he's talking to you.
I thought he was like looking at all his merchandise.
You can steal from
Were
him?
you gonna try to steal a lobster?
Yeah, I totally was.
Oh my god.
But if he's looking at me, I won't do that.
You know what? No, actually, Val's gonna keep talking to him. Other than what is the Golden Scales?
You don't know of the Golden Scales Trading Company? Are you new in town?
Yes, we kind of arrived here today.
Well, you must have called out from some sort of rock because the Golden Scales Trading Company operates all throughout Grand Lorien.
What?
I'm
What?
from out of country.
I think that we both are out of country.
Yeah.
More accurately, be out of continent. For Fallon.
Out you
I'm not
sure.
a continent. Wait, while he's talking there, her fuck.
Steal the damn lobster.
Steal.
Oh no. Play it off, Fallon.
Mhm.
Play it off, Fallon. Come
Ah,
on, Fallon.
Fallon just kind of like pets the lobster.
Hands off the merchandise unless you're buying, please.
Is it dead?
She is not very used to the sea. She gets seasick very easily. Yes.
Yeah, I threw up on the boat on the way here.
The creatures of the sea mesmerize her.
Yeah, if you have any octopus, I like octopus.
Not in my current stock, but I believe you could find some down at the harbor ward.
Yeah, I did in fact see a seller of octopi at the harbor town. Well, it was very good talking to you, but we are going to continue on. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And she walks over to
Come back soon.
Did you ask for his name?
No, I don't care.
Crap.
Do we need it? He didn't provide anything useful.
Yeah, let's leave him.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
This person here has been just sort of leaning against one of the tent poles. And they look you up and down as you approach. They're wearing sort of a long black cloak and a hood over their head. But you can see that they have a slight greenish tinge to their skin, and you can see scales lightly along his cheeks. And he looks at the two of you with slit pupils and says,
Ow.
Yes, is there something you needed?
Do you normally hang around in this spot?
Like, how often are you here?
I spend my time in different parts of town. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm not.
Did you happen to see that guy that owns that stall right over there? Crap, I can't keep remembering.
Safid.
Safid.
I don't recall anything like that.
No? I'm sorry, you just looked mighty suspicious standing here.
My god.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of hanging out here.
Which part of me was suspicious? Was it that I'm a yuan tea?
No, you're just standing here.
She's
Dang, Fallon racist.
subtle. She's trying to be subtle about asking for information. You seem like the kind of person who might know something about an individual that was up at the striped tent up there.
NPC sauce.
You just look like a guy who likes to people watch, and we're wondering if you saw the people we need to know about.
It doesn't ring any bells.
Blah, blah, blah.
Can I insight check him?
Fallon, insight check, please. I failed.
Oh, you did it. Oh.
Oh.
I did it.
Dirty 20.
Fallon, he seems icy calm.
Suspiciously calm,
I
one
did
might
my
even
health
say.
Where'd your health bar come from?
You immediately get into combat with him.
There you go.
I'm ready to fist fight him.
Yeah, he tries to fight you.
Oh, it didn't go.
What? How'd you do that?
I don't know. I have 9 health, I have 0 life. Okay. I'm immortal.
Alright, you can keep it then. You've earned it.
So you don't know anything about the guy that's tied up at the stockade over there?
I wouldn't know. It's none of my business, so I stay out of it.
So he's not gonna tell us crap.
It seems.
And actually, can we make it your business? Do you want to get that guy out of there for us?
Why would I want to do that?
I don't know, why not? I'll give you 4 gold.
Yeah, I know I can set it to the bottom. That's having that. I just don't like them. They're on there at all, but I like them for combat. So I wish there was a way to do it a little neater, but I get what you're saying.
Well, he wasn't really any help.
I think that he knows more than he's letting on.
You think?
I think that he's just very good at this.
Hey, you should help us.
And why would I be motivated to do that?
We'll leave you alone if you do. Or
Okay.
we can just keep standing here with you.
She's just doing the
Annoy
same
him.
thing again. Shinx, this is your tactic. I recognize this tactic. This is the Killian Quinn. I will not stop annoying you until you give me what I want tactic.
I can roll for persuasion. Yeah, just like give us some information about that guy over there that was there a couple days ago.
Is there something that we can give you in exchange? You do not look like the kind of person who seeks money through things like this.
I already told you. It's none of my business. Good luck with whatever you're up to, but I want no part in it.
So if you want no part in it, who could we make part of this?
I don't know.
Oh,
What do you mean you don't know?
Paul's gonna make some split decision.
Whatever you want to make a part of it, but it's none of my business.
Do you know anyone whose business it is?
No?
I feel like he's just going in circles.
Alright, who do you...
Then Paul's gonna like take a step away and then just quiet, just under her breath go, I suppose he doesn't want to know anything about the cult or the scurry or rats, then we can continue on.
I got my eye on you.
Sure.
Damn it. Fuck. Oh.
Okay, so we gotta
My
find
drop.
some people.
He didn't fall for it.
Let's duck over to the other two for a moment.
Okay.
Rindrov and Cecilia, you make your way around the market stalls and arrive at a small table set up under a palm tree with a jovial-looking merchant who has laid out some musical instruments in front of him. Sitting on his shoulder is a small monkey.
Thought it was a hat.
Toots, who should we talk to?
Oh, it's a monkey. It's a very abstract monkey.
Further down this street, you can see a larger tent set up with two heavily armored fellows standing in front of it.
It's up to you. We could talk to both of them.
I'm not great at speaking with strangers.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm gonna walk up to the music man.
You approach this stall here, and he says, "Welcome, friends. There's something I can get you. In the market for a musical instrument."
I'm gonna take a minute to look at some of the instruments. What's he got?
He's got a couple. He's got a couple lutes lying on his table, as well as a smaller violin.
Good wares. Good wares. Do you
Of course, you
ever
seem
go-
like a
Yeah.
gentleman of discerning taste, so of course you can recognize quality goods when you see them.
I'm not particularly an instrument man myself, but
Well, that's
Yeah,
no problem. We've got
these are-
instruments here for beginners as well.
I was also wondering, I have a question, and if you can't answer, that's fine, but
Of course,
I
ask
was
away.
wondering if you ever go to the northern side of the bazaar at any point in time.
I mostly stick to my own stall.
Makes sense. Alright, just wondering, there's a merchant that some of my friends believe has been wronged, and we're just trying to clear some things up, but thank you for your help, the small amount it was.
Of course, happy to help. Now, is there something that you're interested in purchasing?
If you have anything rare, then maybe.
Well, all of my instruments are handcrafted, so that makes each and every one of them quite rare.
You're quite the salesman. But I'm not, like I said, an instrument man myself. Perhaps Rindrov,
Mhm.
any wares that interest your eye?
Oh, I'm not really skilled in playing music. They look like they have fine craftsmanship, but they'd be rendered useless in my hands. Plus,
Makes sense.
he whispers to Sets, I don't really have any more gold. I spent it all on jambalaya.
The one thing you can spend your money on, and it's jambalaya. Huh.
Oh, right.
Well,
you
I'm not
weren't
judging.
there.
No, I was not. But it's okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't forget
when I
about the
get
crispy
more-
eel.
Yeah, and the crispy eel.
The crispy eel.
When I get more, I'll make sure to get you a bowl next time too.
That's okay. You don't have to treat me. I understand. It sounded good though. I could hear it from inside.
Oh, yeah, but I don't believe I have enough to purchase one of these, especially if they were handmade.
Maybe we can come back. Turn back
Maybe.
to the vendor. Thank you so much. I don't think we'll be purchasing anything today, but I do appreciate your compliance, at least.
Of course. Come back if you're in the market for the best musical instruments in town.
Of course. And I'm gonna walk away towards the guard people. That's too close to the guard people. Why did I walk that close?
As you walk,
Ringrove is. Oh, sorry.
as you walk up, this one here, puts his hand on the hilt of his sword at his side, and you hear a voice from behind his mask. Something you need, friend?
Actually, I just had a few questions, if you don't mind, if you're not busy.
Carry on.
So, there's a merchant we've heard was accused of breaking into a rival's shop recently. Have you heard anything
Shafid
about that?
Al-Bacho.
Yes, that's the guy.
Yes. We've heard of it.
Okay. I don't know how to fucking look.
Ringrove's like Ringrove is peering over Sutz's shoulder, but still like taking down notes as he's doing it. But still, despite being 7 feet tall and a foot taller than Sutz, still trying to like cower behind Sutz's head and shoulders, and tries to whisper in Sutz's ear. Ask them about the Golden Scales Trading Company.
What about the company?
Well, they're heavily armored in the Golden Bazaar. They're probably a part of it, or some type of security force.
Sounds good. I'm gonna turn to the guard. Is he, or was he at any point in time a member of the Scales Trading Company?
Safid? Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
Hmm.
Stripped of his titles once he was arrested, though, of course.
Of course, of course. Was the break-in surprising in any way? Did he seem to harbor any ill intent?
There's always rivalries between merchants. So it's hard to say. Safid did seem stable, though.
Okay.
Ringrove whisper to Sutz again. We should try to ask if we can get inside the tent. There's probably someone else in there. If they were guarding an object or an item, they'd be next to it. See if you can ask if we can get in there to ask questions.
I don't feel like getting stabbed today, Ringrove.
Don't worry, they won't stab you, and if they try, I'll protect you.
I guess I'll turn back to the guard. This is out there, and you don't have to answer, obviously, but, who's in the tent? Is it somebody important? You don't have to answer. I know that might be a sensitive question.
He lets out a small chuckle and says, new in town, huh?
Yeah.
This is the Merchant Prince's tent.
I know who that is because I read the wiki, the little page. I'm calling it the wiki now. That's it's new. New title.
The World End.
I read it.
Link below.
No, it's a wiki. Yeah, go read it.
Squall Manor Reef.
Huh?
He's a well-known trader, especially in Al-Zahar. It's basically the reason that Al-Zahar blew up as a economic town with trade is because of him and his shrewd business practices.
I'm gonna turn back to the guard. This is like a lot. This is like a lot of turning. So. Oh, I see. He seems to be very important. We have heard a lot about him. I have, even though I've only been here a few days. I think that's really all I have to ask. Thank you for lending us your time. I do appreciate you answering my questions.
So Seth feels one more tap on his shoulder.
Oh my god. What?
His armor looks really cool. Do you want to ask him about that too?
Do you want to ask him about his armor?
Isn't that important?
Actually, one more thing. My friend here thinks your armor is really cool. Any particular significance to it?
It's really the best use of your time.
No. Well, I'd like to know at least. It is interesting. I am a relic hunter myself, so there are always small little details in things.
Bought and paid for by the prince himself. For his closest bodyguards.
Cool. Cool. Okay, I think that's it. Alright, Rendro, let's go.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. And then we're gonna leave before these people stab me.
Toots,
Yeah, what's up?
thank you for asking the questions I wanted to. They looked
Okay.
intimidating.
Cecilio's sweating. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were,
Yes.
you were
Shut
really,
up!
you were really brave.
It happens occasionally. I'm not one for talking.
Oh.
Cecilia is officially the mom friend of the group that talks. Like, only like once, though.
Alright, back on the other side of the
Huh.
square.
Where am I going?
Val and Fallon. What are you up to?
Hello. Talking to a child.
Cornering the child.
Maybe
Val's gonna
don't.
stand over here so we're not cornering the child. Who's better at children?
I'm closer to their height.
Go.
But are you better with that?
Are you better with them? Handle with care.
Hello there. You. What's your name?
I thought you were going
Fallon.
to call them a youth.
As you walk up sort of behind her, she was staring off in this direction. So she turns to face each of you. Sort of startled by you approaching her.
Where was she staring? Got it. Okay.
Yeah, off in this direction.
Val is going to, while Fallon is talking to her, go over to the fruit side, while they're talking, she's going to ask how much each individual fruit is. I'm going to check how much money I have.
Just 1 gold for an apple, and then 3 for a bunch of bananas or a bunch of grapes.
3 for a bunch. Fuck. Okay, hold on.
Well, these are very fine grapes straight from Carcassonne. Best grapes you can find, I promise you.
I do not doubt that they are the best grapes, but could I make a deal with you if I purchase an apple, a bunch of bananas, and some grapes? Is there any way that I could get some sort of deal? I would be more than willing to offer you everything that I have left in my gold pouch, but that is only 3 gold, and that is not very good. I understand that that's not the exact price of how much all of this costs, but it is, in fact, for the child over there.
If you want to attempt to haggle the price down,
Yeah!
you can. You'll make a persuasion check.
18!
I could let a bunch of bananas or a bunch of grapes go for 2 gold.
Okay, you know what? I'll take it. So she pulls out the 2 gold out of her pouch and hands off the coins in exchange for the bananas. I think that's probably what the kid would prefer.
Yeah, he passes you a bunch of bananas. There's 4 in the bunch.
Okay. And she bows her head. Thank you very, very much. And walks back over to the kid.
Whenever you
And
want
offer-
fresh fruit, you come back to Althathadar.
I need that name tag to pop up right now.
Here you go.
How the fuck do you... Althathadar. I like him. He's my buddy now. He's my fruit buddy. Anyway, she, like, takes a step back and, like, lowers herself. Like, she bends over and offers the bunch of bananas to the kid.
She looks hungrily at them.
They are yours. I bought them for you.
Really? For me?
Yes.
Alright, she grabs the whole bunch.
Now you can keep those. I'm not obviously going to take them away from you. That would be so rude. But I do have a small little question, if you do not mind answering. I'm not going to take the fruit away from you if you do not want to answer. I'm not that kind of person. So, answering really is up to you, whether or not you want to do it.
She's pulled one of the bananas off the bunch, peeled it, and is currently eating it. And she says, sort of through a half-full mouth, "Yeah, what you need then?"
Did you happen to see a rotund man get dragged away from the orange stall with the yellowy whitish looking stripe? Perhaps hear his name. I think it was Safid. It definitely was, Butch.
Yeah, I saw him.
Did you happen to see him at any point before he was dragged away?
Yeah, he's always in the square.
Was he in the square a few days ago? Like, towards nighttime?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Did you see him at any point go over towards this other shop, store, bazaar, stand, stall, whatever you
The
call
one
it
in the
here?
residential area, the general
Yes.
store.
That one, what she said.
I know what you're talking about now. You're talking about the
Yes.
robbery that happened, yeah?
I should have opened with that. I'm so sorry. But yes, that is what we are talking about.
Well, don't tell anyone. But I saw it happen.
Oh.
Oh, fuck!
Did you report it?
No?
Okay,
No,
okay.
She seems like
Oh.
the type of girl who doesn't want to do that.
Not my business.
So,
Exactly. See?
who
That
did you
seems to
see
be
do
a running
it?
team in this town.
Well, I saw somebody sneaking about in the residential district at night. And so I slipped over and I followed them. Saw them breaking into the one of the shops in the northwest of the square. And didn't really get a look at him all that well, but I'm pretty sure it was Sophie. It's wearing something
was-
weird though.
It was what?
Pretty sure it was Sophie.
Who?
What was he wearing, Safid? What was he wearing?
It's weird. Usually he's wearing all his hoity-toity merchant garb and all of his nice, fine adornments, but he's wearing something weird that night. Wearing like rags.
Hmm.
What did his rags look like? If you can remember.
Just sort of like old brown rags. It's like,
Are you familiar with the Scurriers?
yeah, I know.
Did it look anything like something they might have worn?
Nah, more like what the beggars in the South Wall wear.
Hmm.
Fuck, we're going to have to go to Southall, aren't we?
Don't swear in front of the kid.
The kid looks like they've seen more than enough. I think that little bit of swearing isn't going to hurt them.
I've heard that word before.
See, exactly. Anywho, is it?
And
You've
then
been... Oh, more?
saw him breaking in, and then heard some other people down the street, so I scurried off. Didn't want anyone to think I was involved.
Oh.
Fallon, are you writing all of this down?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Fallon. Oh, Fallon. Anyway, Val nods her head to the kid. Thank you very much. You've been very, very helpful to our investigation. Like the most helpful out of anybody that we've talked to. Do you know anybody else who might have, I don't know, seen or taken part of the robbery?
Not sure. You'd have to ask around. I saw what I saw, but nothing past that.
Nobody here you think might have more information?
I don't know.
Is it going to cost another fruit? Or is that the genuine answer?
She thinks for a moment. Sorry. As much as I want to extort another fruit out of you, I don't really have any more information. So it wouldn't end too
Fair
well for
enough.
me.
Hmm.
Well, when I come into more gold, I can assure you that there will be more fruit in your future. Did Val just adopt a kid?
It happens
Anyway.
in every campaign. There's always an NPC.
Make sure
God
you
damn
feed
it.
it.
Oh no.
Gotta feed it, set it up with a stable job.
Anyway, Val's not going to worry about the fact that she maybe sort of kind of just adopted a child.
Fallon, as Val walks away, the child whispers to you, "You know you ain't gonna buy him, right? All you gotta do is distract the shopkeeper and have somebody else take him."
That's what I would have done. So true. You're a smart kid.
Great minds think alike.
Exactly. You'll do good. You'll do good. Do you know any way of getting that Yuan Ti up there, that guy up there, to talk?
Bit of a weird fella.
Yeah.
Tried talking to him too the other day, but doesn't seem like he wants anything to do with anybody else.
He seems like more of an observer.
Stay away from that strange man.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Yeah. Alright. You enjoy your bananas.
Okay, moving. We move. Where are we going now? Oh, I don't think the fruit guy would have. Oh, hello, besties. Should we talk to the fruit man? Wait, should we
didn't
talk?
we already talk to the fruit man?
Did you guys already talk to the fruit man?
I think
He was
I
the
thought
one
we did
who-
that when we walked in.
He was the one who told you where Sophide's stall
Right,
was.
yeah. Okay. We have not talked to this man, though. So, how's that going?
We just got here.
I see. I mean, Suits, how's the conversation going?
I literally just walked up. How do you think the conversation is going?
I don't know, you tell me.
I mean, we talked to some interesting guards down south, so I'll tell you and Fallon about that later.
Okay, fair enough.
As you walk up, the tiefling man behind the stall lets out a hearty laugh. Ha ha! Friends! Welcome to Zendro's Weapons. What can I get you?
Oh, I like this man.
I like sharp objects.
Information!
If you walk up
Oh.
and he says friends, he's instantly, like, the best.
Do you, happen to have a little bit of information that you could be in the business of giving us? Maybe?
More in the weapons business myself. But, what you need to know?
Do you know anything about robbery that happened over in the residential area up in the northeastern quarter?
Ah, heard there was some sort of break-in.
Is that all that you know? She kind of like squints at him.
Not much beyond that. Keep to myself mostly.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm out of questions.
How come if that shop was broken in and robbed, how come no one here is worried about being robbed?
Probably because the guy who did it is locked up currently. I say did it in quotation marks.
Well, between the town watch and protection from the merchant prince,
You all
It's a
need
very,
protection from the prince?
tight ship.
Oh. Wait,
He's
is the
so.
is the other store that got robbed part of the trade? The Golden Scale? Or what is it called?
Golden Scales Trading Company.
Yeah, it was that shop that got broken into. Was it part of it?
You know, I think it was.
Okay.
But like I said, with the merchant prince providing protection for his merchants that work for him, not all that much to worry about around here.
He's
Oh.
providing protection, but like, what if one of you guys did something bad? Would he like do something bad to you?
Well, you'd get ousted from the company, and well, depends on your crime, really.
Okay. Other than Safid, would you say you've seen any suspicious people around?
Well, get the odd scurrier up here. occasional street rat as well. Most of the time, Prince's guards see him right out.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Have a nice day. I don't need any sharp objects right now.
Put the golden horned lady know any. No, that's a joke. That's out of character.
My god.
That's out of character. I
In
promise.
character, Susuya slaps you.
Fair enough.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Who haven't we talked to yet? Or are we not done with Zendro?
We should probably find people who aren't in the trading company and then probably be more
That
likely suspects.
might be difficult in the bazaar.
Yeah.
It seems like most people are aligned with
The merchant
Trading company.
prince is likely monopolized every trader. Where if they're
True.
setting up shop here, he may get a cut from all of them.
Mm?
He's gonna walk up to the mushroom stall and go,
Of course
Are-
you
"Shut your dirty mouth.
are.
Your dirty mint chocolate M&M mouth."
Listen, they're okay.
Anyway,
Can I help you?
do you know anything about the robbery that happened over in the northeastern side of the residential district?
Yes, I heard about that. Terrible thing. Happens from time to time, but it's usually sorted out. I heard they caught the guy.
So you know virtually nothing about what happened.
Not particularly, no. Heard stories from other merchants around here.
Out of character. Thank you for being such a big help. Anyway, hold on. Sorry about that. Are you in alliance with the Merchant Kings?
You mean the merchant prince?
Ah, yes. Hierarchy.
Yes.
Monarchy.
I'm with the golden scales, if that's what you mean.
Well, it was pleasure to talk to you. Anyway, we
Of
move
course.
on.
Whenever you need potions, you come back to Muna.
Where can we find all the traders that are aligned with the Golden Scale Trading Company?
Well, sweetheart, you're in Al Zahar. That's going to be most of them.
Oh, okay.
Most of them are allied with the golden scales. There's a few who operate outside of it, but they're few and far in between.
Okay, thank you.
So also in the square, I was focusing on your conversations, but also in the square, there are a couple buildings here and here, which have signs in front of them, as well as a tent here that you guys walked past. So there are
Well,
other
sure.
there are other places in here. I'm just saying.
Let's go read
What's
the
this one
signs.
say?
That one says.
I like how he sounds far away.
It's when I look over
He's
at my notes.
looking.
That one says Dahander's magical goods.
Magic.
Ooh.
Okay, and then what does this one say? She gets around fast. She got long legs.
This one is just a tent, and you can see kind of from behind the flap of it. You can see sort of some flickering light inside. There's evidently someone in there. And there's a small sort of cloth sign on the outside of the tent that says fortune teller.
Ooh.
Is
She
Valbella
would
gonna fit in
love-
there?
I don't think so.
Will I
just
fit in
saying.
there, Jay?
You would have to like get onto your knees to fit.
That's demeaning. Let's do it. I love how the two
What
tallest
is-
characters go into the tent.
What does the one that Fallon's at say? And I'm also there now too.
Clementine's general goods.
Oh,
Okay, I don't care
Aw,
about that.
that's so cute.
Going to the magic item shop. I don't
Wait, this wasn't the building that was robbed,
No, I'm
right?
in the fountain.
Okay, good.
Alright, so Sutsu and Fallon, are you going to the magical shop or are you going with the others?
Actually, no, I'm gonna go with the others first.
Yeah.
Fortune teller.
Fortune
teller.
Alright, let me copy all together then.
Please.
I like how everybody said fortune teller and I said fortune telling. I'm
Fair
just
enough.
built different. I'm not like other girls. I use the wrong terminology.
That would be the wrong tense.
Whatever.
I love you. I love you,
technically
buddy.
did use the wrong terminology there, though. So
Fair
I
enough.
wasn't wrong.
Alright. You duck down and pull the flap to the side to enter the fortune
Oh no,
teller's tent.
she's hot.
Oh my god. Why do you just don't shut up.
Inside this
No.
tent, there are a bunch of rugs lining the ground, as well as a table in the center with a large crystal ball sitting on it that glows
Dang, the
softly.
vibes are familiar.
Is anyone
And
else's
a,
map a little blurry?
You get stuck in there sometimes. It's okay.
It's the blurry
The
zone.
blurry zone.
Okay.
A cushion sits on the opposite side of the table, and then on the far end, lined by pots with flowers in them, is a woman with a lot of piercings and jewelry adorning her.
Oh no, Roll20 isn't even working anymore. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Roll 20, bro.
Roll20 was tired of my shit.
And
Amen.
she looks at the lot of you and says, "Welcome, friends. I am Najima, the fortune teller. Are you here for my services?"
What kind of...
What kind
Services?
of services do you think
Yeah.
she offers?
Reading your fortune, of course.
No, but like there are different kinds of fortune. You know? Like how does she do it?
With my crystal ball, of course, and she motions to the
I
table.
wonder.
Some people have multiple ways of doing their fortune telling. Some people have cards, some people have crystal balls. Eat
I
dirt.
wonder. How much for your services?
2 gold to read your fortune.
I'll do
What,
it.
what
Dang.
description do people get when they get their fortunes read?
Well, it depends on the person, of course.
Fallon's gonna hand it to gold.
Do you have 2 gold?
I
She's
do.
4 left.
My god.
Do we all get our fortunes read? I think we should all get our fortunes
I
read.
think we should do that. I think that's a good idea.
Hey Suts, can
Good
you
use of gold. Let's go.
Can I
Suts,
what?
Can you loan
What?
me 1 gold?
Oh no.
You better pay me back with interest.
Fuck. What's
But
your
yeah.
interest rate?
200%.
Fuck.
Oof.
I flip her off. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. I'm not that much of a
Oh my god, my Roll20 is like not loading at all.
Yeah, this map's been kind of blurry for me, but it's whatever. Roll 20
Is
sometimes hates you.
Roll20 working for anyone else right now other than Jay?
I'm not having any problems.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, yeah. No, it works for me. The
It's
reason why
because you
my map
guys
is
sat on
loading
the
is
left
'cause
side
I'm
of the table.
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
crappy
really
internet
is.
right now. It really is. We got out on the wrong side of the tent.
It happens sometimes.
Okay, I think it's loaded. It's loading. Anyway,
If you
I'll just
reload
look
it,
at the
it might
Twitch
work
map.
too.
I'll just look at the Twitch.
But yeah, I'll lend you a gold.
Flat. And immediately my pockets. Hey guys, I'm broke.
How much gold do you have?
I have
Just
1
one.
with the 1 that you gave me. I had 2 since I'm handing it over to the fortune teller lady. I have none.
Fallon, you wanted to go first, right?
Yes.
Then she looks to you as you announce that you want to have your fortune read, and she says, "Have a seat across from me at the cushion, then."
Oh, okay. excuse me, Rendra.
Sorry.
There you go.
Now then, dear, place one of your hands on the crystal ball.
Okay.
Okay.
You reach out and place your hand on the crystal ball, and you see it sort of pulse gently with that blue light. And then from across the table, Najima does the same, but placing both of her hands, touching her fingertips to the crystal. And as she touches it, you see it pulse again. And then she closes her eyes, and you see her furrow her brow. And then she says, close your eyes as well.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, the music.
you do so. And for a moment, all you see is black. And then haze, a slight clouds around you, like smoke. And it sort of billows up from around you and becomes thicker and thicker until it clears. And when it does, you see something else. You see a young halfling woman. She has a sack, a haversack over her back, and tucked into the side of them is bagpipes. She has daggers on her belt, and she travels with companions. Sitting on her forehead is a circlet with gems inserted into it.
Oh.
And then the smoke returns, billowing around you, until it blocks the halfling girl from sight. And then it fades back to black. And Najima says, open your eyes.
Okay. I was watching that.
I apologize. The visions are always brief.
So what was that a vision of?
I don't know.
Random people?
Each
Oh, yeah.
vision is specific to the person who I am reading, and I don't always know the context.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know the context of that either.
Shay, did any of us see that, or only Fallon?
Only Fallon.
I don't know. It's just a random group of people and some random weird chick with bagpipes.
It is odd. Usually the visions mean something to the person who receives them, but it's strange that it is unfamiliar to you. I haven't experienced that before.
I'll keep it in mind. Maybe it's just something I don't remember. Maybe.
Perhaps it is possible. A repressed memory or something like that.
I don't know. I don't associate with people who play the bagpipes. They're always weird. I'll remember it. I'll keep note of it. Maybe something will come up where I run into them or hear about them. All right. Who's next?
Would any of you also like your fortune told.
If no one's gonna go.
I'll go next. I'll go
Okay.
next. Yep.
Damn. All right.
Here's my money.
Alright, you pass her the gold and take a seat on the cushion. And Najima says, "Now then, same as last time. Place your hand on the crystal ball."
If I said no. No, I'll do
Then
it.
you wasted your money.
Yeah, exactly. I love her shit.
Alright, you place your
Here's
hand.
2 gold, just kidding.
You place your hand on the crystal ball, and this time it pulses red.
Okay.
And then Najima does so as well, placing both of her fingertips on the opposite side of the ball to you. And she says, "As before, close your eyes."
Okay.
You do so, and like Fallon, you see only black. And then smoke billows up around you and reveals a vision. You see, at first, just a large figure. And as detail emerges, you see horns on that figure's forehead. And you realize it's a Minotaur woman. Strapped to her back, she has a large great axe. And she sits at a table that is perhaps a little too small for her. And across from her is another woman. And there's something odd about that woman. Her skin is too pale, almost bluish purple. And her eyes are odd. And as you watch the two of them, they talk, and they laugh, and they seem like they get along. And then you feel as if you are zoomed out, pulled away from them, and you see something else. Something stands behind the Minotaur. At first it's just a shadow, something vague that you can't quite make out. And then you see a little more detail. It too has horns. It wears armor. Wrapped around its arms, chains. And it watches the conversation with a grin on its face. And then the detail fades. The smoke returns. And you are snapped out of your vision and returned to black.
Weird. They're so random people. Bruh. That's
You
gonna
mean
be my fortune.
that you
There's just
also
random people.
you also saw people you didn't recognize.
Yeah. And then there was like a weird figure there too.
What? That's just odd. I've never experienced this, and all of a sudden twice in a single day.
You've never experienced this? I thought this was some divination magic, something you've done countless times.
Yes, I have told fortunes, but always in the fortune, the person whose fortune I'm reading appears in their own vision. I've never had a vision where they don't recognize anyone at all.
Well, maybe maybe something's up. Would you mind us trying to help you gather information and help you out? I ask because I'm curious, but can't afford what your price is. If this is something truly unique and magical, you seem to have a vested interest. You might want to learn just as much as I do.
Aye.
Wait, Raindrop,
Would
do you need 2 gold?
I have, he whispers to Fallon, I have 1 gold piece. I don't want to borrow any.
I'll give you a gold piece. Do you want your
Vol
first
is
gold?
Vol's gonna go sit. Vol's gonna go sit in the pillow, and she's gonna hand over the gold. Um, and she's gonna go. I think that the only way that we can really help her is that we all get our fortunes read. So, Lynn, while you are discussing with Fallon, I am going to see what happens. And she offers up the gold. She is now poor.
Fallon gives Ren 1 piece of gold as well.
All right. Val, you take a seat at the cushion, and she says, as before, place your hands on the ball.
She places both of her hands on the ball.
All right, and close your eyes.
She do.
As you and Najima place your hands on the crystal ball, pulses blue. And you close your eyes and are plunged into darkness, and smoke begins to billow around you. And it intensifies and intensifies, and then it begins to clear. And as it does, you see yourself, clad in the same armor, and you look around at your surroundings. You're standing in the middle of the desert. But you're not alone. Standing across from you is a hazy figure. You try your best to make out the detail, but you can't. Their hair wisps around them, moving like tendrils. And you try as hard as you can to figure out who they are, what they're doing standing there. But you can't. They're still just a silhouette in shadow. Standing there with you in the middle of the night, in a wide open desert, with stars overhead. And then all of a sudden your surroundings begin to rush around you. And as they do, the vision that you're seeing is replaced with something else. It is replaced with one thing. You're gone, the other figure is gone, even the desert is gone, and only one thing hovers in your vision. A large golden mask. The mask hovers before you. Its eyes are hollow, empty, and you feel a sinking feeling in your gut. And then, like the rest, the mask also fades. And you find yourself back alone in darkness. Sorry, I muted you. Okay. There was background noise, so I muted you for a sec.
Sorry. It's okay.
Did I say Naraka?
You
Yeah.
did.
That was because I was looking at your Discord now.
Am I still in the vision?
No, you just have your eyes closed.
Oh, she opens them. Fall is gonna like stand up and like instead of going back over, she's just gonna like take a step back towards the door. Or not the door, but the opening.
Vol, did you see anyone you recognized?
As far as I am aware, it was just me. It was just me and then a figure and then it was nothing. And then when it was nothing, it was a mask. And the mask had nothing in it. And I could feel uneasy. She's like shaking. She's scared.
Najima, what does that mean?
The mask, I am unsure. But the fact that you saw yourself, that is more like my usual fortune telling.
But there was someone with me, somebody that I did not see, somebody with hair like shadowy tendrils. Somebody that I did not recognize at all.
Yes,
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Sorry. Anyway.
I saw the figure as well, and I'm not sure why there is no detail. This is all very odd. I apologize.
Vol vomits into this face. She doesn't. That's out of character. Well, no. Don't make me roll a constitution check because I will fail. Anyway.
Randrev, you're up.
Rindrev's hands and body start to shake. Well, I don't want to. I have to use Felon's coin. And Rindrev hands his 1 gold piece and Fallon's 1 gold piece to Regina.
Vol is just gonna like walk up behind Rin and just like pat his shoulder and give it a gentle shake before returning to the door. The entryway. I don't know. Whatever.
Alright. She says, now then, place your hand on the crystal ball.
With trembling hands, Rindrev will place his hands on the crystal ball.
And close your eyes.
Rindrev closes them.
You are plunged into that same darkness, and the smoke billows around you as well. And as it begins to clear, you see a young water genasi gentleman.
Oh no.
And he stands with compatriots, 3 of them. And as more detail is added to the vision, you see the setting. Around you, you see that they're standing in what looks to be an old, run-down building. And then more detail is added. and you see that they're standing across from two people. One of them is seated, arms folded, and he has short, messy, white hair. You try to focus on more detail, but the bottom half of his face is blurry, shadowed, and you only get his eyes. Standing next to him is a woman, and she wears the attire of a nun. And she taps her foot slightly impatiently. And you see that the four people and the two are in some sort of conversation, but you can't make out any words. And then the vision begins to fade.
I don't understand.
Was that no one you recognized?
No, I saw a water genasi, unfamiliar, and then I saw two humans and a half elf with the genasi, and then they were talking to other people. I don't know what it means. I've never seen them ever.
And you weren't there?
No. I wasn't, but it felt like I was seeing in, if I could listen in.
But you didn't see yourself in the vision, standing amongst any of the people.
No.
That is odd. Usually, when I tell someone's fortune, it is a vision of themselves. I've never heard of anyone seeing visions of other people.
Isn't there anything you can do? You have to know.
I'm afraid that I am only the messenger. As for the meaning of them, that is placed upon the person who sees it.
Rendrov just kind of goes quiet.
I apologize. This is not my usual fortunes. This is a little unprecedented, so I'm a little taken aback.
We should go.
Oh, yeah. Man, now I'm just gonna be thinking about those strangers all day.
Yeah.
I'm a smart person. Stranger danger. Don't talk to strangers.
Random minotaur. Like, what?
Valor, are you
Val's
okay?
just looking down. She's walking out looking down.
As you leave, she says, I wish you well on your travels.
Stupid hot women. Their stupid visions.
And you make your way, ducking under the flap to leave your tent, back to the heat of the air in the Golden Bazaar. I think that's where we'll end the session for today.
Nice.
Damn, not a 4-hour long session? Wow.
That was good.
That was
The premiere's got to be different than episode 2. Come on.
I was laughing hysterically when you caught Killian out. That's so good.
I'm gonna be thinking about that all week.
Good.
Yeah.
Like, because at first I was like, oh yeah, like the reason why he picked all of us was like completely unintentional. We were just people interested in having a campaign. I can't think that anymore. I can't think those thoughts.
No, Jay just did this because he didn't want to write fortunes for us. He just wanted to do little cameos. Hey guys, watch the other campaigns. Look at how cool these people are.
Well,
For the uninitiated,
Uninitiated. Like this is a cult?
there was quite a lot of references in 3 of those visions to other campaigns that are going on.
Meanwhile, Vol is just sat there like, I have trauma.
Yeah. See, I was curious about that, Jay. I'm gonna have a question about that after the stream's off.
Sure. Yeah, that was a fun session. Lots of good RP in there, and I'm glad.
That's like the most roleplay I've ever done, ever.
You did a really good job.
Now
Were
I'm not
you-
gonna speak for the next 3 sessions.
Listen, we're doing a lot of chat roleplay too. I think that's really fun. I like how we're using that for, pillow fights and such.
Yeah, I
Of
think you guys are using the chat really well, which is why I like to have that visible for the stream, because whenever I'm like focusing on a single conversation, I like the background stuff can be going on.
I'm like going through the Grand Lorien anvil to like look for like masks.
That's a good idea, though. No, you laugh,
probably
but
won't
that's a good
find anything,
idea.
but yeah.
I'm gonna be thinking about that all week.
Yeah.
To save you some time, I don't think mention onto what this could be in the description that Jay gave.
Yeah.
I think this is a new
Mysterious
element.
mask.
Shadowy figure with tendril hair and a golden mask with eyes that make you feel despair. Thank you.
The tendril hair is also a new element I have not seen yet in the World Anvil.
Tendril hair.
Mhm.
I'm
Interesting. Octopus person?
fucking murder you.
No, please. Don't do that.
You're too
So-
sexy.
So there's going to be some really groundbreaking lore with Volbella.
Scary. Fear.
Yeah, new stuff.
Scary.
All the plot falls on you.
Nope.
Yeah, you're the newbie.
Yeah.
More plot.
No, please.
Plot.
I already gave this man a name for a village. That's enough from me. Jay's like staring, like Jay's holding a dagger to my throat. I'm not done with you. I'm
Exactly. That's literally how it is.
I mean, here's the drawback to that. If you don't give a lot, Jay gets some creative freedom to write
fuck.
write something for you.
Oh no. Well,
Mhm.
see, listen here. Listen.
Or he just pesters you about it.
I gave this man plenty to do with my backstory,
She
and that's
did.
all you're
Mhm.
getting. That's all you're
Mhm.
getting.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the differences between you and me. He had nothing to work with. I give him nothing.
And yet he still gave you trauma.
Yes, Queen, give us nothing.
I still don't have like a written backstory for either of my characters.
I went ham. I went absolutely ham. I'm so excited for that to start being brought
Most
up.
of the lore I talk about is like for Sutulia's character is right out of my ass. Like I'm literally just saying.
I mean,
words.
hey, that's just how it works for some people.
the best way to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's pretend like that was a conscious decision, and I definitely wasn't too lazy to write it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, actually, my mind is humongous, and yeah,
Yep.
I have a big brain.
Oh my god. So it's change your freaking nickname. Gosh.
No. Why?
Because it shows up as Naraka on the thing.
To be fair, Hearth and Home is
Switch
not.
back and forth.
Hearth and Home is not complete yet.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Just
fine.
switch
Both
back.
of them isn't
You can
over.
switch back and forth.
Which
Ugh,
which
but I have to do it on my computer.
segues into
Hearth and Home. Tune in at Tuesdays from 7
p.m.
to
Really fun.
whenever.
Literally whenever. Come visit. It's really fun. Lots of gay people.
What?
It's literally just
Yeah.
3 lesbians and an old man. That's it. That's literally it.
3 lesbians and an old man walk into a bar.
And they see some people and they're like, wow, that's some people. And then one of them flirts with them. That's how it works.
Yep. If
That's
you
actually-
think
Never
the
the old
gay
man,
ends
though.
here, if you think the gay
It
ends
does not.
here, it does not.
More powerful in Hearth and Home. Just saying.
But yeah, so the other stream that is currently occurring is Hearth and Home, as they mentioned, 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. And that will be occurring. The other thing that I wanted to talk about while everybody's here, I talked about this a little bit on the last Hearth and Home stream, but for people who weren't there, if you have any ideas for emotes, I'm going to be commissioning some. So
Hilda Bonk, Hilda Bonk, Hilda Bonk.
yeah, so the intention is to make them an emote that can be expressed like for an emotion or a situation or something like that, as well as a character from the world sort of assigned to that emotion, so making them sort of tie together. So if anybody has any ideas, you can say them now, but if you the Twitch ones will be static, so it won't actually bonk if we do that one. That's why I kind of like having that one as a BTTV one, because then it can be a GIF. But yeah, so if anybody has any ideas, you can say them now. If you are thinking about them, you can message me on Discord. If you have any
Speak
ideas.
now or forever hold your peace.
I'm gonna be
You'll
doing it
literally never
soon,
get
so
this
you don't-
option again.
You don't have forever, and there'll be more in the future.
Swiss
but-
Pog! Swiss Pog!
We haven't seen Swiss in a while. Hopefully next session. Looks at Jay.
Yeah, I was Luna. What you were saying is, yeah, I was gonna do that one. That's one of my ideas. Is well, originally I wanted to be, I wanted the prefix to be just Granlo. Now they added a 1 to it, thanks Twitch. So it's Granlo 1 right now. Which is a little annoying because I want it to be I want it to be Granlo 7, because then it would just be 07 like a salute, which sucks, but oh well. So it would be Granlo 107. But whatever. That was one of my ideas. Is a saluting croak emote. Other ones that I had that I mentioned before, but there was a blush emote using maybe Naraka.
Yeah.
But we also said maybe a rage emote for Naraka as well. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. If you need to head out, you can, but it's always nice to have some newer faces here. So thanks for watching.
Are you sick of us?
Yeah, I need to get rid of all these
Don't
old
trip them
people.
into staying.
Oh, what would be so cute is if like there was an emote with Rin, like with the the joy emote in Animal Crossing. I think that would be cute.
Aww.
Yeah,
Like
we
the
need all sorts
wallflowers?
of ranges for emotions. I'm trying to come up with the most likely, like the most used ones first. Um, but another idea we had for Naraka, if we don't do Naraka for the blush one, we could do it for the for a rage one, like an angry emote.
If
That one would work too.
Naraka doesn't get blush, I offer Vol gets blush.
Yeah, I think that was what we said. Is if it's not Naraka, then Val would be a good one for blush.
Yes.
And then another one I had was either like Granlow Smug or Granlow Scheme of Killian. I think that would be good.
That'd be adorable. Jeez.
For any time a player is up to something, we could use Killian as the schemer.
I didn't even realize I was doing like the same thing Killian does. And I was like,
I
will
picked
go
up
with-
on it so fast. I was like, I know exactly what she's doing. She tried this on Vens and Albira and Gareth. And
Hey,
I'm
Killian made gold off of doing that.
You did, yeah. Worked that time, but I can't let that happen twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some of the ideas I had. I was also thinking of a some sort of long rest emote to represent that, because that happens a lot. So a character sleeping might be a good one. But we'd have to figure out which character. We were saying maybe Perry, because she insisted on sleeping despite being an elf.
Berries, berries.
So that was
I
another
think that's
idea.
fair.
And then we of course need a suffer, or like a Granlow suffer or a Granlow pain. Either prefix works, or either emote name works. But
I'm gonna put it out there. Gilly.
Yeah, I was just say Gilly too.
that kind of works, yeah. I'm trying to find like
Was
the perfect character for it. But we do need we need to suffer, absolutely. That one's in high demand.
And I roll Sutsu Leo. I don't know why I said
Yeah.
that so weirdly.
That would be
Yeah,
so
I
that
think
fun.
that would be fitting.
That would be very fitting. Every time he sits there in silence, he is either just picking at his nails or rolling his eyes because he just
At
does not wanna do that.
specifically Vol. At specifically
Yeah,
Vol.
literally every time you speak, he's like, ugh.
She's allowed to be a little gay.
A little.
Shut your
A
mouth.
little.
Shut your mouth. Shut mouth.
No.
Shut.
Nope. Exactly. That's literally.
If you have problems, you can take it up with the complaint department.
Okay.
You want
I
to know
will
where
do
the
that.
complaint department is?
I know what joke you're gonna make, so it doesn't matter.
This recycling bin.
Yep. Wow, so funny. Haha.
I'm hilarious.
Another couple ideas, just sort of like, these ones are probably less priority, but they were just rattling around in my brain. Was some sort of like yum emote, since food seems to come up so much. I was thinking Esto would probably be good for that one.
Yes. Yes.
Some sort of Granlow yum with Esta licking her lips or something.
Al-
Since food seems to come up.
Alternatively to the suffer emote, we could make it Adelaide.
Yeah, that was actually,
No!
I was thinking about
No,
that.
please.
I was actually thinking about that because when I was thinking, like, off stream, I was just thinking to myself, like, who would be best for the suffer, and the ones that I came up with was Gilly, Windermere maybe, or Adelaide.
Addie
I'll
cry if
suffered.
it's Adelaide.
And
No,
she
please.
suffers because she is dead,
No.
cannot drink
she's not
anything,
dead.
and also her girlfriend is constantly away.
Yeah, I thought
It's
she would
okay,
be
we're
she'd
going
be
back.
perfect for it too.
God,
I think
she's been
she's
like
fair.
so. What if she's been so? No.
She's probably been so sad.
No.
She's probably
Stop.
been so sad
Stop
without
it.
Naraka.
Stop talking. Shut
And
your
No.
mouth.
Yeah,
No.
Luna, a Charlemagne Pepe hands would be good.
eat dirt, you know?
No.
Yeah, so I'm gonna settle on what I think is maybe the most used one or something like that, and then commission a couple to begin with, and then I'll get those as soon as possible. But so you'll have probably a couple more days to send me ideas if you have them before I commission it. I'll announce on the Discord when I've actually commissioned it, so that you don't have to worry about it anymore. But I actually never mind. I'm always looking for ideas. So if you don't get it by the first batch when I commission them, still send me ideas because eventually I'll be
Should
doing it again.
Recommendations for that stuff, should that go in like art, or not recommendations but like suggestions, should that go in art?
Yeah, you can throw them in art. Yeah.
Wag.
Yeah, Sapphire, we do have a Discord. Right now, it's only players, but I'm very soon planning on opening it up to non-players. So, stay tuned for that, I suppose. If you really want to be added to it, I'm gonna be adding people. So, like DM me on Twitter or something like that if you want to be added to it, and I can add people. Because we're gonna be opening it up pretty soon. Because it's discussion stuff. We have chat channels for all those campaigns for talking about them, not just for players and stuff. And there's an art channel for people who do any sort of like fan art stuff. So yeah, I do eventually want to open it up to a lot of people. So if anyone is interested in listening to this, just DM me on Twitter. I think my DMs are open. If they're not, I'll go do that later. Yeah, it's been in the works for a while, and I've been meaning to make it more public lately, so it should happen soon. Any of the people in that other Discord too who want to be added to it, just let me know. Oh yeah, do we want to look at the full Rinjov on stream?
Yes.
He's freaking adorable.
His hands are so big.
What?
He's got to hold the book.
All right, here's full Rinjov. Again, this art was done by Sadface Art on Twitter.
Okay.
Check her out.
I think
It'd be nice if I could see it if there wasn't an ad.
I think that
Hello.
he
We got it.
deserves. I think he deserves a pair of glasses and a little parrot friend.
I think that is a good vote.
That-
I also vote that this Coca-Cola get off my screen. Go away. I see you. I love it.
My favorite feature is the symbol on the book itself, and then if you're able to zoom in, and then the quill in the trunk.
Oh, he's an angel, and I want to give him a hug.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I swear to God, I'm
Cry
gonna
about
come
it.
through the screen and I'm gonna toss you off a bridge.
Drive to my house. You won't do
I
it.
will.
Bet.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
No,
I'll do
you
it.
won't.
I'll do it.
I
Give me the
What's
won't
address.
do it.
Give me the Addy.
Nope. How do you not know where I live?
I have-
Don't give out your address on stream.
We won't. We won't. We won't.
I know,
Actually,
I'm
you
just
guys
teasing.
can find me at this.
Rindra doesn't want you to fight.
I don't care. I said crying.
Yeah, we're both sobbing.
But yeah, Sadface is great. She's the one who did my Charlemagne updated art. I love all the little details. The coloring of the robes is correct for his origin. The little book on the bottom of his chest plate there. Lots of nice little details that I appreciate. But yeah, I'll get that updated on the Theater of the Mind screen for next session because I didn't have the time to do it for this one. So everybody say goodbye to this version of Rinjov.
Bye, old Ridro.
Bye, old man. Make way
OG
for new man.
But yeah, other than that, I've been trying to think of ideas to do for Sunday since we haven't quite got the new campaign up and running yet. but it will be starting relatively soon, as preparations for it are mostly in order. So I'm trying to think of ideas to do for Sunday. I was thinking maybe doing another World Anvil update thing. I have some stuff to put on it, so we could do it on stream if you guys were interested in that. I know some people are busy on Sundays, but I might just do another casual stream for fun.
For fizzies.
But yeah. Yep, Luna, you planned your thing on the wrong day. I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah, take a peek, Sapphire. There's a lot of information on there, so might be a little overwhelming, but yeah. Lots of background stuff. There isn't much of it that's like necessary required reading or anything like that, but if you're interested in sort of background on this whole living world, you can take a peek at it, give you some information on some of the factions that are brought up during sessions, as well as deities and locations and stuff like that. So yeah, it's worth a read if you have the time, but definitely not required reading, as some of my own players will even tell you.
Me, it's me. He's talking about me.
Even if I read it, I'd forget half of the things that I did read, so I just don't read it.
I read it less because it influences all my characters' decisions.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of why I didn't read anything from the lore, because I knew that I knew that if I knew much of it, I would be like, well, reasonably, how much would Val know about this?
You know what? That does make that makes sense. That Val's not immediately trying to storm the palace at this very moment. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should storm the palace.
Good
I
luck.
think we
Listen.
should meet him.
Val is interested in like two things. One, you'll have to guess. The other,
Women.
fighting. Shut your dirty mouth.
No.
The other is fighting, but like under the guise of protection. You know how it be.
I mean,
You could just start fighting.
If
I think,
what?
Jay would agree with me that storming the palace would satisfy both of those. Well, maybe
Yeah.
for sure one of them, maybe both of them.
Women.
I think we should storm the
say.
palace.
And then, to be entirely honest, you would all die very violent deaths.
Probably.
Be okay.
We would
But
what?
that'll be worth
You're
it.
all level 1.
I mean,
Yeah, but,
would
like,
we
if we
die?
just-
You can storm
Yes.
the palace if you
walk
want
in.
to, but like,
Can we just like politely walk in?
yeah, you could try that, I suppose.
We'd have to
We'll see
run a
if we
couple
have any
checks,
fun
but I think we'd
relics.
pass.
I could just cast Charm Person, guys.
Exactly.
Not that hard. We're our way in there somehow.
But yeah, I don't mind if people don't read the World Anvil. It's fine. But yeah, because I think some characters who know nothing about the world, it kind of helps to not know anything. But if people want to read it, I have no issue with that. If people would rather be surprised about things, that's fine too. But my favorite moment was was the Killian. It was like what 25 sessions into nature cleric Killian. When she drops the information on me that that she had never read the lore page for the god that she worshipped 25 seconds in. And that one killed me.
Is now a good time to say that I technically have not done that either?
Give it a shot.
Well,
Oh,
it is
to
the
be
same
fair,
page.
To be fair,
same
I
page.
do not.
Or just guess.
It makes a little more sense for you to not have read it. It's fine.
Yeah, 'cause,
it honestly-
like, I have no clue what god I'm even worshiping.
honestly, it actually kind of worked for Killian as well because Killian's whole thing was that she was very like fresh to that aspect. Like she just decided to be a nature cleric and like didn't have any experience in it, so it did work for Killian. I just thought it was really funny that because she was telling me all about all the pages she'd read on the World Anvil and then just not the one that actually mattered, which made me laugh. But yeah, it's perfectly fine if you don't read it, as long as you understand their name eventually and then
Right.
their general aspect, you'll probably be fine.
Mhm. Cool.
But the information may have helped Killian had she read it a little earlier.
I mean, I spent most of the time with Athar pissed off at me,
You did.
so I couldn't even use whatever the divine power is. Ah, good times.
But yeah, other links below are to my Twitter for announcements and stuff like that, and then the YouTube channel for VODs. If anybody misses anything, if you can't find it on my Twitch, then go check it out there, because I archive everything on the YouTube channel. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys on Sunday for a casual little thing if you want to tune in. It's going to be talking about lore stuff. So those are the times where if you want like spoilers and stuff, you pester me for them there. And then maybe I'll accidentally reveal something.
Accidentally.
But yeah. Other than that, thanks everybody for watching. We had quite a few people sub today. Thank you for that as well. And I didn't necessarily address it right at the moment just because I wanted to keep the session going, but I had quite a few subs, so thank you for that. And I'll see you all later. Hope everybody has a good night.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Adios, amigos.